Perry Groves and Ian Danter are at Portman Road on commentary duty for this one. Interesting thoughts from the Derby manager there, both of you. It's all very well saying we're going to build into the season, but if you start off the season badly and you're conceding goals for fun as they are, that starts to seep through the team, doesn't it, Perry?
Yeah, very much so. You just lose that little bit of confidence. Obviously, we like playing the three centre halves. It'll be Sanderson, Matt Clark and Forsyth here this afternoon. But I think their team has been a little bit disjointed, Faye, because they've conceded in every game this season, from the Championship and in the League Cup, 12 goals in total. And that's very unlike a John Eustace side. Dan's obviously saw his Birmingham City team where they were very difficult to break down. And the thing that happened was John Eustace, you know what's going to happen? He's going to get Derby into the playoff positions and then he's going to leave, because he's done that in every club. Birmingham, it wasn't his choice. Obviously, he was pushed out.
He'd rather have
Blackburn, he got them, saved them from relegation, got them in the playoff places, and he left because he felt that Derby was better for him, because he's got the aspirations and they had more realistic chance of getting themselves into the playoffs.
And they now have the investment as well, which is key.
Yeah, and they've made 5 changes today. And, 2 of those include debuts for Max Johnston, who's going to be playing as a right wing back. And then you've got Lewis Travis making his debut in central midfield, who was a very important cog in the Blackburn machine, has moved with John Eustace to come and work with him again. So there's clearly something the way John Eustace works that Lewis Travis finds appealing. Danny Bart too, he's already here, but he's on the bench this afternoon. So he's trying to find that balance and blend, but I think he's going to try and keep it tight here this afternoon. You have to when you play 3 at the back anyway, but he'll be wary of the threats down the flank. So I think that Max Johnston and Callum Elder are going to have a very busy afternoon for Derby on the right and left-hand side.
Yeah, I'm sure they will have. I like that he's staying patient, though. He's being realistic. It takes time when this word gets used a lot, doesn't it? The project that he's building is going to take a little bit of time. 12 new signings that they've brought in. They've got the investment, they've got the backing, and it doesn't actually take long in the Championship to build a little bit of momentum. You just got to get that first win, first of all.
Yeah. Well, you've got to remember where Derby have come from. They were in League One and didn't want to be in League One for as long as they were. And they didn't enjoy themselves down there. They're delighted to be back at this level and just trying to get, after the Mel Morris era where it was shambolically run, at least now they're on a firmer financial footing. They've got a guy in there in John Eustace who may not be delighted to work with one of the lower budgets in the division, but knows what to do when you're in charge of one of the lowest budgets in the division.
But as well, Faye, I think David Close obviously is like the owner, and he said the communication between him and David Close and John Eustace is far better than he's known at any other football club. So I think he feels that Derby County as a football club are very, very stable. And Dan's mentioned there about Lewis Travis coming in, obviously following from Blackburn. He's been brought because Derby haven't been controlling games. They've been very, very loose when they've been out of possession. In possession, they've given the ball away too cheaply. So I think he's going to be put in there in the midfield with Adams and Clark to try and get some control of the game. And I don't think it's any coincidence that we've got Rhian Brewster's come in and playing up front with Colton Morris, because they've been actually worse than Ipswich in the final third. There's no team has attempted fewer shots in the Championship this season. In Derby County, it's only 21 in 3 matches. So obviously he's looking for a little bit more presence up front, and that's what Brewster and Colton Morris has got 3 and 3. They'll provide that for him.
Yeah, and you need that alignment between ownership and manager for sure if you're going to do anything special. Ding, ding, the bell has rung. Packed live football schedule for you as always across the Talksport network this weekend. Over 500 games we're bringing you this season. Game day lives over on Talksport right now. Adrian Durham's taking you around the grounds in the Premier League and the EFL. Aston Villa and Crystal Palace face each other off on Sunday night. That's a live and exclusive commentary on Talksport at 7 p.m. Then we head into the international break when we'll bring you England's World Cup qualification games against Andorra and Serbia. But Portman Road is our destination this afternoon. The players are out, Ipswich and Derby. Sit back, both sides desperate to get their season up and running. Sit back and enjoy in the company of both Perry Groves and Ian Danter on Talksport 2.
Thank you very much, Faye, and a very good afternoon to you wherever and however you're listening to Talksport 2. Welcome to Portman Road. Two sides without a championship win to their name so far this season. And as Perry Groves was saying earlier in our build-up, no manager wants to go into that first international break without at least one three-point haul under their belt. Probably more surprising that Ipswich are in that particular situation than Derby County, the two sides here today, but nevertheless, that's what Kieran McKenna is facing. He's spent big money. Championship record signing of £17.5 million has been spent on a young Norwegian striker who's coming from North Zealand. His name is Sindre Walla Egeli, but he won't play today. He's just been paraded to the fans before kick-off, as has Marcelinho Nunez, who cost £10 million from Ipswich's bitter rivals Norwich City. He can't play either because of a slight ankle knock. There are two recent signings for Ipswich that are good enough for the bench today in Ivan Azon, a young striker on loan from Cesc Fabregas's Como, and Darnell Furlong, who joined from West Brom. But the four changes that have been made from within the squad. Johnson, Clark, Taylor and Smodics all drop out. Here's the Ipswich lineup as they look for that first win. Alex Palmer in goal, Ashley Young, Dara O'Shea, Jacob Greaves and Leif Davis in the back four. Azor Matasiwa and Jens Kayuste are the holding midfielders. And then Casey McAteer, Connor Chaplin and Jaden Philogene behind George Hurst in attack. Derby have made 5 changes this afternoon, and they hand debuts to Max Johnston, who's just arrived, the young Scottish right wing-back, and Lewis Travis into central midfield after his move from Blackburn Rovers. Out go Bart, Niambe, Thompson, Vyman and Ozzo. Jacob Zetterstrom is the keeper. 3 centre-halves, Dion Sanderson, Matt Clark and Craig Forsyth. Max Johnston, Ibu Adams, Lewis Travis, Bobby Clark and Callum Elder across midfield. Rhian Brewster and Carlton Morris are in attack. On the benches this afternoon for Ipswich, Walton, Kipre, Taylor, Johnson, Furlong, Smodics, Akpom, Azon and Clark. That's Jack. There's a lot of Clarks today. Matt, Jack and whatever, plenty.
You're right, it's going to get your shoes.
Yeah, and Bobby, who's out there for Derby. For Derby, their bench, Vickers, Bart, Wyman, Salverson, Thompson, Ozzo, Jackson, Ward and Niambe. Caden Jackson made 199 appearances for Ipswich Town. Wonder whether we'll see him. Derby and Ipswich both in their first choice colours. Ipswich in the blue shirts and socks with the white shorts. Derby in the white shirts and socks with the black shorts. And it's Derby who get us underway as we sit in this brilliantly appointed commentary position right on the halfway line in the main stand. Derby are attacking the Sir Bobby Robson stand to our left-hand side. To our right is this Sir Alf Ramsey. The Ipswich will be attacking in the first period. And the Derby fans are opposite us in the one remaining sort of relic of the old days at Ipswich Town, if you like, the Cobbold stand. Opposite us with the old-style lettering across the top that bears the name Ipswich Town Football Club. Our referee today, Lee Doughty, who's already issued 2 red cards this season, issued 2 in the whole of last season, but he's already sent 2 players off this campaign. And he's awarded Derby County a free kick early in the piece for Callum Elder to try and send into the Ipswich penalty area, but Ipswich are holding a very, very high line. This free kick for Elder, he's only just over the halfway line, but Ipswich are holding their line 30 yards from goal.
I think as well, Palmer in goal for Ipswich, if they're going to hold that high line, he's got to be a little further out. He's only just outside his own 6-yard box.
So here comes the kick from Callum Elder, floating it up to the edge of the Ipswich area. Helped on by Matt Clark. Craig Forsyth went in to try and get a piece of it. Connor Chaplin slips. That allows Derby to get it back. Brewster tried to send it across the face of goal. He gets it back. Had a little snapshot from the left-hand corner of the box, but it was blocked away for Ipswich by Matasiwa. But Derby get it back on halfway. Travis driving the ball into out. It actually drops for Carlton Morris. Knocks it down to the right-hand side and Johnston on debut. Then a little turn from Bobby Clark. Tries to ride a couple of challenges and he's brought down just outside the area by an Ipswich player. And Derby County got a free kick in a very dangerous position here. 2 minutes gone, 0-0.
Well, the terminology hot potato dance with the ball. Ipswich Town, every time the ball came into box, Ashley Young gave it away. Then Leif Davis gave it away unnecessarily, could have taken down at his chest. Then it come out to Bobby Clark. on the right-hand side of the 18-yard box. He just got his toe there before Greaves, and Lee Doughty, the referee, says that it was a foul. Obviously Ipswich aren't very happy. Greaves won't be very happy either, because obviously he gave the penalty away against Preston North End last week. And
so it's a question of who fancies the drive from the to the right-hand side of the D. It favours a left-footed hit. Callum Elder is standing over the ball, so too is Rhian Brewster. Ipswich are just lining up their wall, but the referee hasn't applied the old shaving foam yet, which he's just done. About level with the penalty spot, and the Ipswich players now just moving behind that line that's been drawn on the pitch. Carlton Morris has gone to have a chat with Messrs Elder and Brewster as they stand over the ball. Alex Palmer sorting out his wall. There's a draft excluder. You'd never want that job in a month of Sundays, would you?
It's the most unnecessary position I've seen ever in football.
It's unedifying.
Have you ever seen anybody be hit when they're drafted?
Not yet. Maybe that somebody would argue, well, that shows it's a success, because it means people don't do it. So, Derby free kick. Elder or Brewster, who's going to strike at goal here? Referee blows his whistle. It's Brewster, right-footed, straight into the wall, and deflects out for a throw on the far side, 0-0.
Well, that wasn't Brewster's millions, that was like Brewster's lira, to be fair, wasn't it? Because he actually went to go underneath the ball. Obviously, the five-man wall jumped, and he tried to go underneath it, and just ended up hitting the wall in like the shin area. Ball just ricochets out, goes to throw for Derby over on their right-hand side.
Bristol City 0, Hull City 1. First goal in the Championship. 3 o'clock goes in at Ashton Gate, and it's Hull who lead through former Leeds man Joe Gelhardt. 0-0 here at Portman Road. 4 minutes played on Talksport 2, and Max Johnson looks to try and release Carlton Morris down the right-hand side of the area, but slightly overhits the half volley there, and it goes through to Alex Palmer in the Ipswich goal. Matosiwa playing with fire a little bit just outside his own 18-yard box, but scampered away in the end from Carlton Morris. Chaplin tries to send it out to the right-hand side for McAteer. He then goes to ground under pressure from Bobby Clark. It's a bit harum-scarum in these early exchanges, Perry Groves, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very hectic. Both teams just lacking that little bit of confidence to say they can't keep possession. Just saw there, Ipswich Town, Matosiwa dropping a bit deeper, giving it to Kayuste.
Here is Kayuste, centre of the Derby half, plays it just to his left for Greaves. Now it's worked out to Leif Davis, left-hand side. Philogene out there with him, puts a right-footed ball into the box, but it hits the first defender, Dion Sanderson, who can head clear. Wigan 0, Stockport County 1 in League 1. Stockport unbeaten away, and Jaden Febvre has given them the lead at the DW. And a free kick's been given for a foul on Kayuste for Ipswich Town. 5 minutes gone, it's out on the left-hand side, almost at the midway point of the Derby half, 0-0.
Yeah, from Ipswich Town's point of view, Matosiwa just dropped a little bit deeper, and then Kayuste just played about 15 yards in front of him, managed to get it into him. But to be fair, as they broke the lines, Lewis Travis, who's the deeper line midfield player for Derby County, just got his little foot in just to take the sting out of the attack.
Tottenham 0, Bournemouth 1 in the Premier League. Evan Ilson for the Cherries early on at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Ipswich free kick at 0-0. Left-hand side, midway point of the Derby County half. Leif Davis, the usual set-piece taker, is standing over this. Will drill it into around the penalty spot. Heads go up, Sanderson gets it clear. Ipswich and Derby players giving chase, and it's Morris who got there first and got pushed to the ground by Casey McAteer. So Derby get themselves a free kick in their own half, and it is a frantic start here at Portman Road on Talksport 2.
Yeah, so very frantic, very hectic. But just looking at Derby County, they've got their 3 centre-halves, Sanderson, Matt Clark and Forsyth on the left-hand side. Sanderson has started the game really well, Dance. Twice the ball's come into the 18-yard box, and he's been the one who's gone to attack it both times. But say neither team at the moment can get any control, because obviously they're past form. Neither of them won a game in the Championship this season. Yet, Dance, you can tell that they're both teams are very, very edgy.
Dion Sanderson working with John Eustace at a third different club. He's worked with him at Birmingham and Blackburn before coming to Derby County in the summer. Here's Callum Elder for Derby, fizzing the ball across the penalty area beyond Brewster, but kept in play by Johnston on the far side. Can he whip his left foot round it? He can. Lovely ball in, just over the head of Morris, headed away by Ashley Young, who might be able to get to the second ball as well. He does, just ahead of Callum Elder. who then went to ground under pressure from his opposite number, McAteer. Referee says play on. Derby have it with Sanderson just over the halfway line. Plays it into the feet of Ibu Adams. And then Sanderson goes back for the bald-headed Matt Clark inside the centre circle. Aimless pass from Clark goes out of play for a throw-in to Ipswich, which their 40-year-old right-back Ashley Young will take. Gives us all hope, Perry Groves, when people like that can still play professional football.
Well, Ashley Young will hope everything must change for Ipswich here at Portman Road. So they haven't won here in 2025.
If he was called Paul Young, I'd accept that, but he's Ashley Young. You can't do that. Leif Davis coming forward for Ipswich. 7.5 minutes gone, no score in the Championship here. Earlier today, it finished CSI Stockley Park 2, Chelsea 2, Fulham 0 in the Premier League. Middlesbrough top of the Championship, beating Sheffield United. You heard it live on Talksport 2 at lunchtime. QPR 3-1 winners over Charlton, their first win of the season. And West Brom won at Stoke by 1-0. Cardiff, top of League One, thumping Plymouth by 4-0. What a wretched start Tom Cleverley's had to life as Plymouth manager. Doncaster, they've gone second in League One in the fledgling table, beating Rotherham by 1-0. Fleetwood won at 10-man Barrow in League Two, and Swindon have gone second in League Two, winning 3-0 at Crewe. Their 100% record, a very distant memory now for Crewe. We've played 8.5 minutes here. Talksport 2 at Portman Road in the Championship. Wolves 0, Everton 1 in the Premier League. Beto, who scored in the last minute against Mansfield in the week, scores in the Premier League at Molineux. Ball's back with the Ipswich keeper Alex Palmer. Plays it out to Matusiwa, then guided down for Ashley Young in the right back position, but Bobby Clark, former Liverpool youngster on loan from Salzburg, quickly closes down the space. A diagonal ball from right to left was seeking out Jayden Philogene, but it's gone out of play bang on the halfway line for a Derby County throw. Perry Groves alongside me this afternoon for the fun.
Yeah, Ipswich worked it really well out to this right-hand side into Ashley Young. Just looking at George Hurst, I don't think has touched the ball yet. He came deep into the centre circle and said to Ashley Young, just drop it into me, because then Connor Chaplin and Philogene and McAteer will have something to play off. At the moment, say Ipswich can't get any control of the game because Derby County have made sure that it's been very physical dance. The 50-50s, they've been very sharp. There's been a brilliant ball from the left-hand side from Eldo, who just linked up with Travis, whipped it across the 18-yard box, and Rian Brewster should have actually been gambling, then he gets a tap in.
Long throw coming in for Derby County here from the right-hand side, midway point of the Ipswich half, with Derby attacking the Bobby Robson stand to our left in this first period. So Max Johnston, the new arrival, is going to hurl this into the 18-yard box. It's like a mosh pit inside the penalty area. They're all circling round each other. In it comes, headed away by Jacob Greaves. Bobby Clark will get there first and sends it back to halfway. Goals elsewhere. Barnsley lead Huddersfield in the Yorkshire Derby in League One. Davis Keeler done for the Tykes. And Colchester lead at Barnet. Jack Tucker must be offside. And Chesterfield 0, Crawley 1 elsewhere in League Two. Harry McCurdy puts the Sussex side ahead against the Spyrites. Yet to win Crawley, but they're 1 up at Chesterfield. Ipswich trying to come forward, and McAteer picks it up right-hand side, near the right-hand corner of the area, clips the ball into the air, and it's headed into the goalkeeper's arms by Craig Forsyth, who was trying to divert it away from anybody who might have been sneaking in at the far stick. Probably not a bad idea from Craig Forsyth in the end, and Zetterstrom held on to it gratefully. 10 gone, 0-0.
Yeah, Ipswich best pattern of play there. Said Matasiwa just picking the ball up deep, then him rolling it into George Hurst. Great little ball out to McAteer on this right-hand side, but unfortunately Ipswich, because George Hurst had dropped that little bit deeper, then he's not in the 18-yard box, and McAteer just whips the ball in. Really good defending from Forsyth, just got his head to it, went through to Zetterstrom.
Speaking of heads, goal. There's a clash of heads, but Jacob Greaves looked like he would need treatment. He's going to have treatment, whether he likes it or not, because the physios had got to him by the time he was getting to his feet. So he will be led off just to make sure he's okay, and all the concussion protocols will be observed.
Actually, it was his captain, O'Shea, who just challenged him. Looked like Carlton Morris was coming in from the left-hand side. No communication between the both of them.
Watford 0, Southampton 1. Both sides with a win, a draw and a loss each so far this season. Cameron Archer has given Southampton the lead at Vicarage Road. 0-0 here, and a little uncontested drop ball, which will be dropped by Lee Doughty, the referee, at the feet of Ashley Young. And he will send it back to his keeper, Alex Palmer. But Carlton Morris closing down the space. Palmer gets out to the left-hand side of the box and a good clearance downfield. Looking for Hurst, but he's lost out. Bobby Clark for Derby, trying to shovel it out to Brewster on the right wing, but overhit the pass. George Hurst now sporting a shock of blonde hair.
He's gone all Eminem.
He has. Oh, Oxford 0, Coventry 1. What a start to the season for the Sky Blues. Unbeaten, and Haji Wright scores again, the American international, to make it 1-0 to Coventry at Oxford United. Matt Clark.
It's going to be a real interesting physical battle there, dance between George Hurst and Matt Clark, because every time the ball's come into George Hurst, it's been Matt Clark who's playing in the centre of the free centre half of Derby. He's the one who goes and puts the challenge in.
Here's Max Johnston for Derby, down the right-hand side, clips it in field. Lovely first touch from Brewster, right-hand corner of the box, gives it back out wide to Johnston, and the cross deflected. Did it deflect? No, it went into the side netting. Palmer panicked for a moment, thought he might be about to be caught out at his near post, but it hit the side netting on the outside of the net. So Ipswich get a goal kick away to our left. We play 13 minutes on Talksport 2. It is still Ipswich Town 0, Derby County 0. Perry Groves.
Dance, we just saw a little glimpse there of Derby County in the final third. Initially it was good link-up play with Johnson and Rhian Brewster, and Rhian Brewster's on the edge of the 80. All he's got to do is just roll it so that Johnson can hit first time. He actually put too much purchase on it, and that meant Johnson had to check his run, and that's why he couldn't wrap his foot around it. So it's just those fine little details in the final third that make all the difference.
Craig Forsyth gets to a ball just ahead of George Hurst and thumps it out of play. Kieran McKenna quickly retrieves it, so the throw can be taken. Both managers directly underneath our commentary position. Strong challenge from Lewis Travis, sliding in to divert the ball away from Jens Kajusta. We saw a really strong challenge. Well, you'd have heard it in our lunchtime kickoff. Siddy Peck with a very strong challenge that did not see a red card for Sheffield United, but they lost anyway at Middlesbrough, who go top, and Sheffield United, awful start to the season for Ruben Selles. 0-0 here. Ipswich take a quick free kick and they get Leif Davis away just inside the Derby half. Goes out left for Philogene. Couldn't get past Johnston, but it did go out for a throw to Ipswich left-hand side, which Philogene will leave for Davis. Throws it back towards the halfway line, and Greaves, who appears to be none the worse the wear for that inadvertent clash of heads with a teammate. Blackpool lead Bolton in that. We'll think about the cup final. Here's Philogene inside the area, across the face of goal. It'll drop for Casey McAteer, tries to nod it down for a teammate, couldn't find Chaplin, and back came Bobby Clark. Clear straight onto the chest of Chaplin. Mike Drake for Matasiwa here, into the edge of the area. Hurst looks for McAteer down the right-hand side of the box, but overhits the pass, and it's a goal kick. Yeah, Blackpool 1, Bolton 0. Teddy Sharman low with the goal for Steve Bruce's Blackpool. Have just got one win to their name so far. And it's a goal kick to Derby County. We played quarter of an hour here. It's all been blood and thunder, or has it been thud and blunder, Perry Groves? 0-0.
A bit of both, Dan. Do you want my inane stat of the week?
You've got one.
Yes, Blackpool versus Bolton. No side has hit the woodwork more times than Bolton in League One this season. 5 times. Already a third the amount of times it woodworked last season, which was 13.
There's nothing inane about that. That's a top quality stat. I bet every Bolton fan down in the pub knows that one as well. But they all know that one.
Just ruin their luck. Can't believe it.
So a throw for Derby County down the left-hand side.
Dan, you'd have seen a lot of Birmingham under John Eustace. He's set his team out today to make sure they win the 50-50s and the physical battle. That's exactly how they've started.
It's absolutely no surprise. But with a player like Travis in there, and Johnston's looked lively on that right-hand side early on, and Bobby Clark I like the look of. Again, this sort of mosh pit of players circling around each other as the Derby throw gets sent into the box. I think John Eustace has been watching Slipknot at Download. I think he's got the idea for players just circling around each other.
I feel a bit seasick.
Yeah.
Just like a
whirlpool.
It's all it is. Just or a little bit of country dancing when you go round and round, do your partners. So the set piece coach has gone, I know what we'll do. We'll just run like Ring a Roses, just keep circling around.
He wants a mural like the one at Arsenal, doesn't he, the set piece coach? Corner to Derby County at the Bobby Robson end, where it meets the main stand that we're sat in, and it will be swung in by Max Johnston, the new arrival. Is he going to go near post or far post? Goes near post, in goes Clark, couldn't get the touch, headed clear strongly by Greaves, but it's picked up by Bobby Clark. keeps the ball away from Philogene, moves infield, lovely reverse ball, touchdown by Adams for Johnston. Johnston, left-hand corner of the area, puts a cross in, only half cleared. Adams tries a shot, it's blocked, comes to Carlton Morris inside the box, makes room for his right foot for a shot and curls it well wide in the end, but it did come off an Ipswich knee. It's a corner kick to Derby County at 0-0.
Really good defender from Matasuwa, the Ipswich Town midfield player, because good link-up play in the 18-yard box from the two Derby forwards, Brewster into Carlton Morris. I think just as he took his first touchdown onto his left foot, he should have got his shot away, because he could try and hit it across Palmer and Ipswich goal, and what he does, he checks back onto his right foot. That gives Matasuwa the chance to go and close him down. Just gets a sliding tackle, little block, corner for Derby over on their right-hand side.
Where the Sir Bobby Robson stand meets the Cobbold stand, so it would be a left-footed in-swinger from Callum Elder.
We see Adams being the nuisance for Derby County.
He is standing around the goalkeeper. In it comes, whipped in near post. Again looking for Matt Clark, who put his foot up and appeared to catch Ashley Young in the mush. And so Ashley Young wins a free kick for Ipswich Town inside their own penalty area. Remember, Adrian Durham is taking you around the grounds over on Talksport with goals as they go in from the Premier League and the EFL. Right now in the Premier League, no goals at Manchester United or Sunderland. Bournemouth lead at Spurs. Everton lead at Wolves. And in League One, I can hear Faye Carruthers screaming from here, because Luton lead at Burton. Lasse Nordas makes it Burton 0, Luton 1. And it's going to be a goal kick for Ipswich Town, away to our left-hand side. What have you spotted, Perry? Well, you're pointing.
Ipswich, obviously, they want to play out from the back, so Derby set the traps, but Derby, they're leaving 3v3 at the back, so Palmer gets the ball quicker from his goal kick and misses the midfield press. Say they've got Hurst up front with Philogene and McAteer in the wide areas. Just go long. Just make it a 3v3.
Ipswich 0, Derby 0 on Talksport 2. 19 minutes played at Portman Road. Casey McAteer for the Tractor Boys wins a throw right beneath our commentary position on halfway. Ashley Young will take it just inside his own half. Gets it back from Kayuste and then clips it infield very neatly for Jacob Greaves, who's got room to scamper up to the halfway line. Oxford equalise against Coventry 1-1. Will Lancashire, on loan from Spurs, equalises for Oxford at the Kazam. Here's Greaves again for Ipswich Town as we approach the 20-minute mark, waiting the breakthrough. Ashley Young into the feet of Connor Chaplin. Midway point of the half. He's got two Derby players around him. He skip past Forsyth down the right wing. Clips the ball into the box, going for the far post. It might drop on the right foot for Leif Davis on his weaker foot. Drove it into the turf and actually made the save easier for Zetterstrom. But that was on target from Ipswich, 0-0.
Really good play on this right-hand side. Just skipping away from the challenge. Connor Chaplin just gets his crossing with his right foot. Good defending from Sanderson. Comes out to Leif Davis. Didn't really look confident down today because it was his unfavoured right foot, where maybe he could have taken the touch and got a left-footed shot away and just hits the volley into the ground. Easy save from Zetterstrom in the Derby County goal.
Motherwell 0, Kilmarnock 1 in one of the two Scottish Premiership games being played this afternoon. Now Derby have won it through Lewis Travis on debut. Gets over the halfway line. Plays it out left to Bobby Clark. Clark coming infield towards the edge of the area, trying to roll it across the 18-yard line, looking for Johnston, but Ipswich managed to win the ricochet. And Matasuwa, the defensive midfielder, hoiks the ball out to the left-hand side, looking for Jaden Philogene. Brings it down very neatly on halfway. Plays a neat ball infield equally to Fine Hurst. Kayuste and Matasuwa on halfway. Now Chaplin, just goal side of Bobby Clark for a moment. Plays it out to McAteer on the right wing, having a run at Callum Elder. Gets the cross in the box along the deck. It's cleared away at the near post by Forsyth. Comes out to Ashley Young for Ipswich. And he plays it infield to Matasuwa. A bit of space 30 yards out. A bit of more space at the edge of the area for Kayuste. Tried to give it back to Matasuwa, but Derby intercepted. But not for long, only half clear. Ipswich have it again at 0-0. 21 minutes played if you're just tuning into EFL Game Day Live on Talksport 2. Matasuwa for Ipswich. Finding Kayuste. It's just slowing the game down for a minute. Now it's worked out to the right wing and Casey McAteer, almost level with the 18-yard line. Up against his opposite number, Elder once more. Back it goes into Ashley Young, and Kayuste tried to turn it around the corner, thinking that Azul Matasuwa was making a run. He wasn't, he was on his heels, and the ball goes through to the Derby keeper, Jacob Zetterstrom, bedecked in all fluorescent orange this afternoon in the Derby goal. 21 minutes played on Talksport 2, it's 0-0.
Yeah, that was Ipswich's best passage of play. Matasuwa and Kayuste getting themselves on the ball, coming out to the right-hand side to McAteer just couldn't quite get the right cross in, looking for a little bit better quality.
Poor header from Ubu Adams inside his own half. It allowed Chaplin to try and lob it over the top for George Hurst, but he got far too much on it. It just went straight through to the Derby keeper once again. Adams finds Matt Clark. That's a lovely ball up to the chest of Carlton Morris, who shows terrific strength with Dara O'Shea at his back. But then it's won back by Matasiwa, trying to thread it through the eye of a needle for Chaplin, who appreciated the intent of the ball. It went again straight through to the goalkeeper Zetterstrom as Brentford take the lead at Sunderland in the Premier League. Dango Ouattara 2-2 for the new signing. And that's three sides leading away in the Premier League 3 o'clock this afternoon, with Bournemouth and Everton also in front at Tottenham and Wolves. It's 0-0 here at Portman Road, midway through the first half on Talksport 2. Ashley Young for Ipswich clips the ball into the box looking for Hurst. Matt Clark there again with a header clear for Derby County. Morris helps it on for Rhian Brewster, and there's a counter-attack on for Derby, but Brewster slows it down and actually does well to buy the free kick so he can get some of his teammates to join him downfield. The free kick is Derby's just shy of the halfway line, 0-0.
Ipswich just trying to get that little bit of control. Matasiwa and Kayuste just starting to dictate play, and you could just hear Dance. The build-up play was fine. We had a little instance there. Matasiwa tried to put it into Connor Chaplin in the 10th position, missed him completely, didn't he, by 4 or 5 yards. Ball broke down. Then when it's got in the wide areas, when they get the crosses in, Ipswich keep hitting the first man. You can hear sort of the groans of disappointment for the Ipswich Town fans because, as I said, their build-up play is very good. Just that quality in the final third. And I've got a nickname for Lewis Travis. He should be nicknamed Jensen because he is the interceptor. Every time the ball comes in, he plays a little bit deeper, of the other midfield players. He's got the two of them in front of him, but he's brilliant at just getting his toe in and just negating the patterns of play of the opposition.
If you don't know what he's on about, look it up. Car enthusiasts will be loving that.
It's one for teenagers again.
Most definitely. Wolves have equalised in the Premier League at home to Everton. Hwang Hee-chan makes it 1-1 at Molineux. 0-0 here at Portman Road. Derby County have another long throw opportunity to send into the Ipswich penalty area. It's from the near side towards the left-hand side. Just waiting for that whirlpool come mosh pit of Derby players to start again. Here it goes again. Ring of roses as Elder prepares to take the throw in from the left-hand side. Looking for Matt Clark at the near post. And there was a push. Or was it a foul throw? Yeah, there was encroachment from the right toe of Callum Elder, I think, as he sent the throw in. So all that jinking around the penalty area meant nothing. It's a free kick to Ipswich Town. And it's still 0-0 on Talksport 2.
We said there, Derby do the ring of roses. They're just trying to move the Ipswich Town defenders around. But to be fair to Ipswich, they've stayed zonal. But every time the ball comes in, if you're going to do that, Dance, you've got to make sure that your timing's right. You can't just do the mosh pit, ring of roses and just lob it in and make it a fight ball, because it's a lot easier to be accurate with a throw than what it is obviously from a corner. So you've got to make sure that your timing's right, and they're aiming for Matt Clark, and each time it's come into Matt Clark, Jacob Greaves has made sure that he stayed in his position and he's managed to either win the header or just nudge Matt Clark off the ball. The referee's just pulling both captains together at the minute.
Yeah, there was a bit of a set to between Matasiwa for Ipswich and I think it was Bobby Clark in the Derby midfield. It's been sorted out, and play restarts with the throw for Ipswich in their right back position. Ashley Young lobs it into the middle of the half. Bobby Clark wins the header, but it almost came off the top of his head for Derby, and Ipswich get it back. Leif Davis under pressure from Brewster down his left hand side, trying to stay on his feet, Leif Davis, and he's having his shirt pulled by Rhian Brewster. Ipswich get a free kick. That whole mosh pit ring of roses thing would make me dizzy if I was in the middle of that, either as a attacker or a defender. Anyway, one back by Derby. Callum Elder plays the ball into Morris. Now Bobby Clark up towards the left-hand corner of the area. Plays it out left for Elder once more. Puts the ball into the box. Should be a comfortable catch for Alex Palmer, and is. Ipswich 0, Derby 0.
Yeah, just too much stuff in it there from Elder on this left-hand side. Palmer, easy catch. He's picking cherries off a tee, just bowls it out to Philogene over on the left-hand side.
As AFC Wimbledon take the lead at Bradford in League One. Bradford unbeaten at the start of the season, but Marcus Brown has given the Dons the lead at Valley Parade. Here's Jaden Philogene for Ipswich at 0-0. 26 minutes played on Talksport 2. Near the left-hand corner of the penalty area as Ipswich come forward. He clips it in field for Matusiwa. Matusiwa spots Davis in space, left-hand side. Early cross deflected behind by Sanderson for Ipswich's first corner of the game at 0-0.
O'Shea with a brilliant switcher play from O'Shea, Ipswich Town captain, from right to left out to Villager. And he actually had Sanderson 1v1. He decided to cut back inside, and Ipswich made sure they kept position, come out to Leif Davis, tried to get his cross in, blocked, and goes out for corner for Ipswich on their left.
At the Alf Ramsey stand end, where it meets the Cobbold stand on the far side of the field from us. Grimsby 0, Bristol Rovers 1, so the euphoria of midweek is quickly punctured at Blundell Park. In comes the corner from Ashley Young. Greaves with a header right in front, but couldn't get over the top of the ball, and it's headed over the bar, and Derby get themselves a goal kick, 0-0.
Yeah, decent delivery from Ashley Young from that left-hand side, in swing with his right foot. Jacob Greaves just attacking the ball, and to be fair to Matt Clark, he did really well. He just made sure that when he came to there, he just made a challenge for the ball so that Greaves didn't get a free header, and he headed it over the crossbar.
In the Premier League then, at the moment, Manchester United have just taken the lead against Burnley. They lead by a goal to 0 at Old Trafford. I think that Sunderland goal, the Brentford goal rather, was ruled out, still 0-0 at the Stadium of Light. 1-0 to Bournemouth at Spurs and 1-1 Wolves Brentford. 0-0 here with 28 minutes gone. I'll bring in the Manchester United score as soon as I get it. Meantime, here's Matusiwa finding Kiyuste for Ipswich, looking for the breakthrough against a very hard-working Derby County side. It's an own goal from Josh Cullen that's put Manchester United ahead at Old Trafford.
I think he loves his players now. I think the swing almost has gone from hate to love.
Changes with the win, that, doesn't it, with Amorim?
Just looking at Derby, Dan, so you said their shape is very, very good. They get basically a flat back five, 4 across the midfield, and leave Carlton Morris up front on his own.
Out to the left-hand side. Leif Davis for Ipswich, level with the 18-yard line, gives it back to Philogene, faced up by Lewis Travis, just takes the game down to walking pace, buys himself half a yard, clips the ball into the box, deflection on the cross, sent it up in the air. Derby dealt with it well, and Bobby Clark able to bring the ball down on his thigh and just volley it downfield, but there was nobody in Derby White to collect it on halfway.
It's because they've dropped so deep, Dance, just on the edge of the 18-yard box. Even Carlton Morris was only probably 2 or 3 yards outside the 18-yard box. I think when they do that, they should actually leave Carlton Morris just up in the centre circle so they have an outball, because if they drop this deep, Ipswich has started taking control of the game, and there's not going to be able to get out when they win possession.
Here's Ashley Young for Ipswich at 0-0. We're approaching the half hour. Dispossessed by Bobby Clark, and then worked in field by Elder. Morris inside his own half finds Ibu Adams, and Ibu Adams, I think he's just won another call up to the Gambia squad. He's done brilliantly for Derby County. I saw him come through at Forest Green Rovers. Ibu Adams, thought he was a really talented box-to-box midfielder. I think the Derby fans have really taken to him since he's moved to Pride Park.
I think what he does, Dance, he leads by example. We said box-to-box, no players recover possession more times in the Championship this season. Ibu Adams, we say the way that just set themselves up with Lewis Travis just a little bit deeper than Adams and Bobby Clark, so they're very well structured in that midfield area.
Half an hour gone. It's 0-0. And Ipswich coming forward. Kiyuste absolutely bamboozles Travis, sends it out left to Philogene, getting into the area left-hand side. Sanderson trying to hold him up. Davis on the overlap, pulls it back. Chaplin tries to drive it goalwards. It actually hit his own man Hurst, who couldn't deflect it goalwards, and Derby survived.
Yeah, really good play from Kiyuste, just picking the ball up. Just has a little Michael Flatley foot over.
And then Greaves was pressurised into putting the ball out of play for a throw by Brewster on halfway. Running back into his own half, Jacob Greaves. The ball bounced awkwardly for him. It's very nearly taken off his toe by Brewster. If he got that right, he would have been away and clear for Derby with just the keeper to beat.
Yeah, really good defensive play from Jacob Greaves. But again, looking at Ipswich, that's in that final third. So brilliant link-up play from Kiyuste, getting it out in the end to Davis. And what Davis has to do is just whip the ball across the 6-yard box, and he tries to pick out George Hurst with a cutback. He stretches, then just sort of toe pokes the ball away. So again, Ipswich Town's build-up play through the 2 thirds has been very, very good.
Dara O'Shea bringing it forward now for Ipswich Town. Plays it out to the right-hand side, and Ashley Young level with the 18-yard line, faced up by Elder. Thinks about going on the outside of Elder, but just holds it up for a moment now. Ashley Young plays it down the right hand side of the box for McAteer, checks onto his left foot, still doesn't send the ball in. 5 in blue waiting for a cross, still with Casey McAteer, works it back to Matasiwa now, plays it across to the centre of the half, and Greaves. Davis thought about wanting it on the left-hand side, but now it's given to Philogene down the left-hand side of the box, drives it into Chaplin, who wins a corner off Ibu Adams at the Sir Ralph Ramsey stand end. 32 minutes gone, still goalless on Talksport 2.
Yeah, Ipswich Town getting closer and closer. Again, just attacking down that left-hand side, come out to Philogene 1v1 with Sanderson, goes on the outside of him, gets his left-footed crossing. Really good defensive play from Ibu Adams, again just making sure as it comes to Connor Chaplin that he was the first man to the ball, put the pressure on him, gets ricochet, corner for Ipswich on their left-hand side.
To be taken by Ashley Young. He's going to send this a right-footed in-swinger right under the crossbar. Zetterson's missed it. Greaves heads it home at the far post. Young's corner to the far post completely bamboozled the Derby County keeper Jacob Zetterstrom, and Jacob Greaves did not have to leap, stood his ground, nodded it home from right in front, and Ipswich Town are in front at Portman Road just past the half hour. It's Ipswich 1, Derby County 0.
What is Zetterstrom doing, Dance? It's a good delivery from Ashley Young with the corner from the left-hand side, in swing with his right foot, and then Zetterstrom comes out. He's just gone like Superman, as if been shot out of a cannon, misses the ball completely misjudges the trajectory. Jacob Greaves is standing on the far post, simple-headed in from 3 yards, just gets himself away from Forsyth. Forsyth has got to be stronger. Jacob Greaves just completely bullets Forsyth at the far post, nods it in. Ipswich Town go 1-0 up here at Portman Road.
Jacob Greaves then making the difference for Ipswich Town. Scored 1 Premier League goal last season after he moved from Hull City. And with just over 10 minutes to go until the break, he's got his first of the season, and that's only the second Ipswich player to score all season, and still haven't scored from open play, because that came from a corner. Hurst's goal against Birmingham came from the penalty spot. And there's going to be a yellow card for Callum Elder here for, I think, holding on to the ball the left hand side when he thought he'd won a free kick. Needless from Callum Elder for Derby County. He goes in lead out his note, but crikey, there's goals going in everywhere. Stevenage lead Wickham in League One. They've won 4, Stevenage. They're on the way to winning a 5th with Chem Campbell with a goal. Wolves 1, Everton 2 in the Premier League. Illiman and Jai puts Everton 2-1 up. They were 1-0 up and have been pegged back. Lincoln lead Mansfield in League One by a goal to 0. Sonny Bradley. Bradford have equalised at home to AFC Wimbledon. That's 1-1. Joe Wright. And Bristol City have scored 2 goals in quick succession to turn it around against Hull City. Now 2-1. Anis Mehmeti with the second for the Robins. And Exeter lead Peterborough, who haven't won yet in League One, by a goal to 0 at St James Park. You're up to date on Talksport 2. 10 to half time. Ipswich 1, Derby 0. And Ipswich win the ball back on halfway through Chaplin. McAteer has to work it back into his own half for O'Shea. Matasiwa onto the halfway line, and Kayusta plays it back to square for the goal scorer Jacob Greaves. Now he finds Davis on the half turn, midway point of the Derby half. Then Philogene works it slightly infield to Kayusta. O'Shea picks it up and plays the square ball to his right for Ashley Young. He thought about sending it out to the right wing and Casey McAteer, but instead they've gone back to the centre circle. Once more, Derby County got everybody back behind the ball. Young clips it down the right-hand side of the box, looking for George Hurst. He let the ball bounce, and that allowed Matt Clark to get himself between man and ball and let it go behind for a goal kick. What did Derby County do now? Perry Groves 1-0 down with less than 10 minutes to the break on Talksport 2.
Well, I think they just started to sit a little bit too deep, Dance, didn't they? They was inviting pressure on. Matasiwa starts dictating play for Ipswich Town, with Kajuste playing a little bit further in front of him. And then in free play, obviously Ipswich's crosses weren't particularly good, but from the set play from Ashley Young, brilliant in-swinging corner of his right foot.
Carlton Morris wins a 50-50 against Kayusta, midway point of the Ipswich half. Now a chance for Travis to come forward, drives it goalwards. It's well wide in the end, a good 2 or 3 yards wide, and I think Palmer had it covered. But just the first sign of Derby's tenacity, getting them somewhere in forward areas. It's a goal kick, 1-0 to Ipswich.
Well, Travis could have got a bit closer. because it was really good link-up play from Rhian Brewster, just releasing him in that inside right position. I think he could just taken it another step on, puts his foot through it, should be hitting the target, just rolls past Palmer's left-hand post, doesn't even trouble the goalkeeper.
Matt Clark picks it up on halfway for Derby County. Ipswich leading by a goal to nil. If you're just tuning into EFL Game Day exclusive here on your home of the EFL, Talksport 2. Travis goes down in the centre circle, but the referee waves play on because Derby have it with Johnson. Lovely ball, looking for Morris in the box. What great defending by Dara O'Shea to get in front of Carlton Morris and just nick it up in the air so his goalkeeper could catch it. I thought for a moment that was going to be 4-4 for Carlton Morris to get Derby level.
Brilliant play from the right-hand side from Derby County, from Johnson, just whipping the ball in that corridor of uncertainty. Said there, it looked like Carlton Morris was just going to have a simple right foot volley tap in from about 3 yards, and really good defending from Greaves and O'Shea, because Greaves made sure he got to the ball first and O'Shea made sure that he followed the run.
7.5 minutes to half-time. Ipswich Town 1, Derby County 0. Coventry go back in front at Oxford. Oxford 1, Coventry 2. Victor Torp scored 2 in that rout against QPR last weekend. Here's George Hurst for Ipswich at a goal to nil for the Tractor Boys. Greaves fires it up to Leif Davis at the edge of the area. Kayuste has Adams at his back. It breaks for Chaplin. 30 yards out, clips it to his right. Ashley Young takes it down, goes for goal, and it only whistles just wide, and it took a touch off a Derby foot. It's a corner kick at the same corner where Ipswich scored their goal from just a few minutes ago. 1-0.
Yeah, Ipswich Town pushing both their fullbacks forward. Leif Davis playing that inverted inside left position. Ashley Young there in the inside right position, just picks it up from Connor Chaplin. Great first touch. As the ball sits up, you think he's going to smash his volley past Zetterstrom's right hand side. Takes a little deflection, another corner trips over on the left hand side.
So again, it will be Young with a right-footed in swinger for Ipswich. The last one completely caught Jacob Zetterstrom out, got nowhere near it. The Derby keeper goes to the same far post, but it's headed away this time by Matt Clark. Brought down by Chaplin, clips it to the far post via a deflection. Zetterstrom goes up with McAteer, and he was fouled by Casey McAteer, says Lee Doughty. And it's going to be a yellow card for Casey McAteer as well for making that challenge on the goalkeeper.
I think it's for dissent dance. I think it's because obviously he's made his feelings known, Casey McAteer. I agree with him, Dance. It's not a foul. As Zetterstrom goes up for the ball, he's allowed to challenge for it. Lee Doughty, I think maybe the referee's got a bit bored and thinks I want to be involved. And then McAteer obviously shows his contempt for the decision by just waving his arms around, and he gets booked.
Cambridge 1, Newport 0 in League 2. Kellen Watts for the U's. 1-0 here to Ipswich. Oh, lovely ball from Kayuste. Chaplin tries to feed it through for Philogene inside the area. Angles tight, drives it into the side netting from a very, very tight angle. Very swift move from Ipswich to get from halfway to the left-hand corner of the 6-yard box, but ultimately it's only a goal kick. 1-0.
Yeah, just starting to get into their groove. Ipswich Town getting their rhythm. As you said there, great little ball from Kazusta into Chaplin. Chaplin trying to get it out to Philogene. Just his touch just took him a bit further away from goal than he'd liked as he swivelled with his left foot. Couldn't quite get it across Zetterstrom in the Derby County goal, just smashing it side netting.
Livingston 1, Hearts 0 in the Scottish Premiership. That's 4th against 2nd in the fledgling table. So Hearts behind up against the Old Firm tomorrow. Rangers Celtic after a rotten week for those two sides in their Champions League qualifiers. And don't forget, Game Day live tomorrow from 1:30 with Sam Matterface and you. You're there, aren't you? Perry, where are you tomorrow?
I'll be at Forest. West Ham.
All the goals as they go in tomorrow afternoon, including Liverpool, Arsenal. Derby win the ball inside their own penalty area when Kayusa was trying to pirouette and make some room for himself. It's played up to Carlton Morris. Brewster finds Adams, who tried to nick it forward to Morris on halfway, but it's tidied up by Dara O'Shea. And Ipswich have it back. And it's with the goal scorer Jacob Greaves, and the fans are very happy with the way Ipswich are knocking it about with a bit more confidence. They have the lead. They want that first win of the season. Here's Ashley Young looking for Matasiwa. Plays the ball into the feet of Chaplin.
When Sam Morsi was here, he was number 5, Dance, wasn't he?
He was.
So
yes.
Matasiwa
He's doing
had
that
just
job.
taken his shirt and gone, there you go, there's number 5, you can be the conductor. That's exactly what Ipswich Town and how they play, with Kajuste playing 10 yards in front of him.
Greaves plays a dangerous ball across the face of goal, having just gambled a little bit at the centre half and driven downfield. But the cross was out of play on this near side for a throw. Portsmouth 1, Preston North End 0 in the Championship. No winning 3 for Pompey, but Andre Dezelle, son of Jason, has given Portsmouth the lead at Fratton Park. Reminder, in the Premier League, Manchester United 1-0 up on Burnley, still goalless Sunderland Brentford. Bournemouth still 1-0 up at Spurs, and Everton 2-1 up at Wolves. Here's Kiyusti for Ipswich at 1-0. We've got 3 minutes of normal time to go in this first half. What can Derby do about this scoreline prior to the break, if anything? But here come Ipswich down this near side to us, the right, with Ashley Young. Played in field by McAteer for Chaplin. Now it's left for Matasiwa. In field for Kiyusti, 30 yards out. Just calmly chips it across to Leif Davis. Goes for goal from the corner of the penalty area, but he got hold of it, but it was well wide. No danger for Zetterstrom. It's a goal kick to Derby as Bristol City go 3-1 up against Hull City. And it's Emil Rees for the Robins, who started the season well with that thumping win against Sheffield United. No winning 3, but looking more like it this afternoon at Ashton Gate for the home side. 1-0 here to the home side at Portman Road. Ipswich 1, Derby 0. We've got just over 2 minutes to half time here on your home of the EFL. Ball's out of play for an Ipswich throw in their right back position. What have you spotted, Perry?
Well, just from the first 15-20 minutes where Derby counter were very competitive dance, weren't they? Every 50-50 they were winning their duels. Because they've started to sit that little bit deeper, probably 15 yards deeper than when they started off, that's enabled Matasiwa and Kiyusti to get a little bit of rhythm. And then Leif Davis comes in and plays in the inverted left-back role, it overloads in midfield. So Philly Jean stays wide out on the left. So there's an overload in that centre midfield area. So you said about John Eustace, he should be asking his 3 centre-halves or back 5 when they're out of possession just to push that little bit further up the pitch to make it more congested so that they can stop the fly of Ipswich. Because say last 10-12 minutes, Ipswich have started to dominate the game and their passing movements have been very, very good.
Derby in possession though, left-hand side. Elder trying to ride the challenge of McAteer's. Want another throw. This is going to get launched. I think we're going to see the mosh pit again.
Drop my quells, I've got them in my pocket.
Yeah. So Derby County players move into the penalty area, away to our left-hand side. Clark is the ringleader, really, of the Ring of Roses, along with Sanderson and Forsyth, the 3 centre-halves, who will wait until Elder's in position, and then they will start the pirouetting. Here they go again. Round and round they go, getting dizzy. In it comes from Elder. Matt Clark again looks for the header, doesn't get it. Headed back into the 6-yard box by Brian Brewster, but it wouldn't drop for a white Derby shirt, so it's just drifted behind for an Ipswich Town goal kick. Ipswich 1, Derby County 0 on Talksport 2 as Barnsley double their lead in the Yorkshire Derby in League 1 against Huddersfield. Luke O'Connell with the second for the Tykes. Barnsley starting the day in 6th, Huddersfield 2nd. It's a good scoreline for Conor Harahan, who joined us on the EFL All Access in the week. Don't forget you can listen to that show every Monday night from 6 on Talksport 2 to recap the weekend's action, or you can catch up with it as a podcast. 1-0 Ipswich here.
Just obviously Elder's long throw, what they have to do is they just have to sort of change it up a little bit, because they're doing the Ring of Roses, but to be fair, the 2 centre-halves of Ipswich Town, O'Shea and Greaves, they're the ones that just stay in their positions.
Oh, here's George Hurst winning the ball back high up the field from Travis. Finds McAteer, right-hand side of the area, tried to pull it across the face of goal, and Matt Clark slid behind and turned it behind for a late Ipswich corner as we've moved into 2 minutes of minimum stoppage time at Portman Road. It's Ipswich 1, Derby County 0.
Oh, it's a really poor touch from McAteer, and he knows it. Really good play from George Hurst. Just lays him in on the outside of Forsyth, and his first touch dance is too heavy, just takes him too far away, where if he takes it on the angle, then he gets his shot away across Zetterstrom. That enabled Matt Clark at the near post to get his sliding, challenging corner for Ipswich on their right-hand side.
Blackburn 0, Norwich 1. Blackburn down to 10 men. Sean McLaughlin sent off, and Josh Sargent has scored the penalty. Here's the corner kick for Ipswich. Davis swings it right to the far post, headed against the goalkeeper by Greaves, again from the opposite side of the penalty area this time. And it stays out, and that could have been 2-0 to Ipswich Town from another corner kick.
Again, Zetterstrom really struggling from the corners because they're just whipped in with pace. We just see Zetterstrom misses the ball completely, and it's O'Shea on the far post.
It was O'Shea, forgive me, it wasn't Greaves.
Exactly, should be heading it in the back of net, Dance. I think it might have just come back off the post. Ipswich should be 2-0 up.
Unbeaten Tranmere lead Notts County late on in League 2 by goal to nil. Amari Patrick. Luton have a second at Burton. Millenic Ali makes it Burton 0, Luton 2. And Motherwell equalise against Kilmarnock in the Scottish Premiership. That's 1-1. We're in the last minute of minimum added time. Dara O'Shea, whose header hit a combination of Matt Clark and the post, I think, from that corner kick. It stayed out and it's still 1-0 to Ipswich. Worked up by Greaves to Kayuste. It was only half cleared by Derby County. Chaplin finds Matosiwa. The referee blows the whistle for half-time, and warm applause around Portman Road. They are desperate for their first win of the season at Ipswich Town, and they're halfway towards it, courtesy of centre-half Jacob Greaves, who just after the half hour got his head to a corner kick, swung in by Ashley Young, that completely outfoxed Jacob Zetterstrom in the Derby County goal, and Greaves right in front couldn't help but nod it in to an empty net. They had a chance to make it 2 from a corner from the opposite side at the end of the half, where Dara O'Shea very nearly made it 2-0 with his header, but that was kept out by a combination of defender and post. Derby have threatened. They've got their long throw routine, but it's not come to anything quite yet. But you sense that Ipswich want more than the lead that they already have. At the break here in Suffolk, it's Ipswich Town 1, Derby County 0.
Thanks very much, Dance. Yeah, they definitely want more, and they need more as well, because it feels a little bit finely poised at Perry Groves. A slow start for Ipswich, but you mentioned in commentary their build-up play was really good. They didn't get that final product until the 33rd minute, and it was a fantastic goal.
Yep, obviously created from the corner over on Ipswich's left-hand side from Ashley Young, and you just got to make sure you miss the front man. Exactly what he did. He whipped it in with his right foot, and then Zetterstrom in the Derby County goal, he just sort of missed the flight. I think he might have got a slight punch on the top of his knuckles. Then it comes to the far post. Greaves completely bullies Forsyth on the far post, just simple header in from about 4 yards. And to be fair, Faye, the goal was coming because Derby started off very, very well. The first 15, 20 minutes, they made it very competitive. They didn't drop too deep. They were just making sure that they would get the challenges in, especially midfield with Adams, Clark, especially Travis, who's played a little bit deeper of the Derby midfield players. He was getting the interceptions, and they made it very scrappy, and Ipswich couldn't get any rhythm. And all of a sudden, Derby started to drop that little bit deeper, and that had enabled Matasiwa, who plays deeper for Ipswich in midfield, and Kayuste to start to control the game, and you could sense that the goal was coming.
Yeah, you definitely could. What do Derby need to do to get themselves back into the game? Bit more rhythm?
Yeah, well, I think they need to play a bit further up the pitch. They've got to be a bit braver, like Sanderson, Matt Clark and Forsyth, the 3 centre-halves. They've got to be brave enough to say, yep, we're going to get out another sort of 10, 15 yards, because they couldn't compete in that midfield area, because Leif Davis comes in from the left-hand side for Ipswich and he creates that overload. So you've got Matasiwa, Kayuste and Davis and Chaplin playing in the 10. So there's a 4v3 in there. And in that first 20 minutes, it was very hectic because Derby County, their team shape was more congested. But now, obviously, they started to drop a bit deeper and they couldn't get out for the last 10, 12 minutes of the second half, of the first half. Even when they won the ball, because Carlton Morris was dropping a bit deeper, every time they cleared it, it came straight back. So I just think they've maybe got to be a little bit braver, say a bit further up the pitch, and they've got to stop Matasiwa. And I mentioned we came here last season and the season before in the Championship, Sam Morsey was the conductor, wasn't he, with the baton?
Yeah.
Matasiwa does exactly the same thing. So they've got to maybe put Rian Brewster on him and go man for man and stop him getting the passing movements going, because Ipswich were dominating that last 15 minutes. Yeah,
neither of these sides with a win yet this season. Could there be one coming to Portman Road, and Kieran McKenna's side getting their first 3 points? We shall see in the second half. Right, let's preview tonight's Premier League action as Leeds United face Newcastle at Elland Road. We're joined now by Talksport reporter John Dunn to look ahead to the game. How are you, John?
Good afternoon, Faye. Very well, thank you. Although it's wet and windy in West Yorkshire this afternoon.
No, it's always wet and windy in West Yorkshire, I have to say. It's very rare. I used to live up in Leeds, and it was very rare that you got a little bit of sunshine, to be honest.
It's just a normal day, then.
Very much so. Listen, it's been a bit weird for Leeds. You know, the opening game of the season against Everton, you know, everybody got very excited, but then knocked out of the Carabao Cup midweek by Sheffield Wednesday after that bruising 5-0 defeat at Arsenal in the Premier League. I was reading some of the post-match comments from Daniel Farke, actually. 25 shots they had against Sheffield Wednesday, 1 goal out of it. They go out on penalties, and he used the word hurt and embarrassed afterwards. They're going to want to bounce back in front of their fans, aren't they?
Yeah, this feels like I know we're only a few games in. It feels like a key game because we're not sure what to make of Leeds yet. As you say, that win against Everton, first game of the season, lots of emotion in that one. The crowd here were absolutely superb. And then was it a case of Leeds being bad or Arsenal being good last weekend? And yeah, they dominated the game against Sheffield Wednesday, but never looked like they would score that second goal. Clearly, it was a much changed side, but Daniel Farke, as you say, they're hurt embarrassed. They want to see a reaction today. 21 games unbeaten here at Ellen Road. Obviously, incredible. Most of those in the Championship. Big test, but you do feel like Ellen Road is going to be the key to Leeds staying up this season. Yeah, Newcastle themselves going to want to get back to winning ways. I think, one of the most exciting games we've seen so far this season in that 3-2 defeat to Liverpool, but they're without Anthony Gordon after that sending off in the 3-2 defeat, and the Alexander Isak saga continues as well. What are we expecting from Eddie Howe this afternoon? The thought will be William Osula to come in. He did score as a substitute on Monday in that emotional and frantic game against Liverpool, but it would be his first Premier League start for Newcastle since signing a couple of seasons ago. So he's expected to come in, but yeah, Anthony Gordon, 3-game ban. He's had the most shots of any player in the Premier League so far this season, so it would clearly be a miss. Yeah. Absolutely. I think you're going to have a cracking game in your hands, John, to be honest. Let's hope so. I really hope so too. I'm looking forward to listening into all your reports. Take care. Reminder, updates of Leeds against Newcastle during the game day phone in on Talksport. That's from 5:30. You can get your calls in to Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy on 03717 223344 to have you say on all of today's action, however your team are getting on at the minute. And I will bring you very shortly all the half-time scores as they stand. Next here on Talksport 2 as well, second half between Ipswich and Derby.
Ultimate Sports Radio.
What a moment!
This is Talksport 2.
I'd never driven electric before, but wow, the MG4 EV blew me away. And when I heard I could save up to £4,750, I was sold. Get £1,500 off with the MG-funded EV car grant, plus £3,250 manufacturer deposit contribution on 0% APR when you finance with MG Motor Financial Services. Book your test drive today at mg.co.uk. T's and C's apply. Registered by September 30th. MG Motor UK are a credit broker and not a lender. PCP with 3 options at the end.
Yorkshire tea, where everything is done proper. Yorkshire tea.
Maybe not.
Yorkshire tea, where everything's done properly. Yorkshire tea.
Right, enough of that. How about Yorkshire tea, where everything's done proper?
Vodafone's new customer service is a little bit different. It's called Just Ask Once. Message them on the Vodafone app. You deal with one person and they keep you updated until it's sorted, so you can get on with your day. Walkies it is then. Just Ask Once. Customer service made easy from Vodafone, the nation's network.
Available via your My Vodafone app. Messaging service only. Exclusions apply. Vodafone UK, supporting the nation since 1984. More details, vodafone.co.uk/network.
You could be a lotto millionaire like Terry. Get your ticket for tonight's draw. The National Lottery. Rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
Think summer can't get any better? It just did with Deliveroo's new Freshness Promise. Your fresh and chilled groceries are covered to give you peace of mind. Enjoy freshness or your money back. So whether you're grilling sausages and veggies in the garden or refilling the fridge with milk and more after your holiday, look out for the Freshness Promise badge in the Deliveroo app today. Now just got even better. Selected partners and items only. Seek badging at geographical restrictions, fees and T's and C's apply. See deliveroo.co.uk and FAQs.
Managing your business is a big task. To then stay on top of the numbers as well, you're only human. That's why the Intuit QuickBooks AI-powered platform supports your business growth as the #1 recommended cloud accounting software. Intuit QuickBooks. Based on a survey of 506 UK accounting professionals. Verify at quickbooks.co.uk/verify.
There's a Peugeot SUV for everyone and every need.
Sport for choice. I like it.
From the compact 2008, the stylish 3008, to the roomy new 5008.
Weekend adventures, here we come.
Now available on 0% APR with a minimum 20% deposit.
Sounds like a 100% match.
Book a test drive on Peugeot.co.uk. Offer ends 30th September 2025. Personal contract purchase subject to status and availability. T's and C's 18+. Excludes plug-in hybrids. Stellantis Financial Services.
Every emotion and total devotion. It's game on. This is Talksport 2. This is game day. Halftime classifieds.
You're listening to Talksport 2, the home of the EFL. I'm Faye Carruthers. Let's get your halftime classified scores, starting with
Premier League.
Manchester United 1, Burnley 0, Sunderland 0, Brentford 0, Tottenham 0, Bournemouth 1, Wolves 1, Everton 2.
Sky Bet Championship.
10-man Blackburn 0, Norwich 1, Bristol City 3, Hull 1, Ipswich 1, Derby 0, Millwall 0, Wrexham 0, Oxford United 1, Coventry 2, Portsmouth 1, Preston 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Swansea 0, Watford 0, Southampton 1.
Sky Bet League 1.
Barnsley 2, 10-man Huddersfield 0, Blackpool 1, Bolton 0, Bradford City 1, AFC Wimbledon 1, Burton 0, Luton Town 2, Exeter 1, Peterborough 0, Leyton Orient 0, Northampton 0, 10-man Lincoln 1, Mansfield 0, Reading 0, Port Vale 0, Stevenage 1, Wickham 0, Wigan 0, Stockport 1.
Sky Bet League 2.
Barnet 0, Colchester 1, Bromley 0, Harrogate 0, Cambridge United 1, Newport 0, Chesterfield 0, Crawley 2, Grimsby 0, Bristol Rovers 1, MK Dons 0, Walsall 0, Oldham 0, Gillingham 0, Shrewsbury 0, Accrington 0, and Tranmere 1, Notts County 0. Right, you're up to date with everything going on across the country in terms of the EFL and the Premier League. At Portman Road between Ipswich and Derby, the home side leading by a 1-0. Ian Danter and Perry Groves are our commentary team waiting for us ahead of this second half. Do you think either side are going to make any changes, Perry?
If one side wasn't make changes, it would be Derby County, because say Ipswich started to dominate that last 15 minutes. I'm just looking for Derby County's point of view. Obviously you've got Caden Jackson who can come on up front. You can have Joe Ward who maybe give him a little bit more threat in the wide areas, and Andy Vyman as well, because as an attacking midfield player you need more of a threat going forward, and saying that last 15 minutes Derby weren't any threat whatsoever because Carlton Morris was getting isolated up front.
Yeah, it's a tricky second half. They have only just got their noses in front, though, haven't they, Ipswich? And, you know, Derby were the brighter of the two at the beginning. They're going to need a fast start. Yeah,
Much the same as the start of the first half, where Derby made it very, very attritional. It was like we said, it was like a hot potato. You know, neither team could get themselves in control of the ball, which is a away team exactly what you want. So I say John Eustace will say his Derby side, they're still in it. It's only 1-0, but they haven't had a shot on target. And Palmer in the Ipswich Town goal hasn't had a shot to make, and that's been a sort of recurring thing for Derby County this season. Yeah, the players should be coming out very, very shortly ahead of this second half, so we'll get back to commentary with your commentary team of Perry Groves and Ian Danter on Talksport 2.
Thanks, Faye. Yeah, we're waiting the emergence of the teams from the tunnel down to our right-hand side here at Portman Road. Derby have actually won 4 of their last 6 here in the league, drawing 1 and losing 1 of the other 2. Mind you, they've won 4 of the previous 15 if you go back to between the early 90s when the Premier League was formed through to 2014, and the vast majority of those meetings will have taken place at Championship level. Derby's last win here was back in 2017 when Sam Winnell scored both goals for the Rams in a 2-1 win, and they've only been here twice since, as the teams have been in different divisions. It's Derby that are emerging first from that tunnel down to our right-hand side, and we'll see whether there are any players likely to be introduced right at the get-go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now it's all present and correct in terms of those Derby players who played in the first half. I don't see any changes being made straight away by John Eustace, not at this point anyway. Well, the thing is,
from Derby County's point of view, Dance, is they had one great ball from Elder on the left-hand side where he whipped it across the 6-yard box where Ian Brewster should have gambled, but they didn't have a shot on target in that first half. And apart from the game against Coventry at home where they lost 5-3, that was the only game they've had 2 or more shots on target in the Championship season. And you can tell why, Dan, because they were just far too passive. You know, they couldn't get out. Carlton Morris was isolated, but you have to say Ipswich Town were very impressive in that last 15 minutes of the first half.
And if you were listening early, you'll have heard Perry mention just how impregnable Ipswich have been at home in the Championship. 22 Championship home games unbeaten, but they have a chance to win a game at home for the first time in the calendar year of 2025. Those 22 unbeaten home games, they've averaged 2.5 goals in those games. They've only got one here this afternoon. You do get the feeling, Perry, they're going to need more than one if they're going to get 3 points over the line this afternoon.
The longer the game goes, Dan, you know, it is the home fans get edgy. You know, if you're just 1-0 up, and that sort of tension can then transmit itself onto the pitch. In the first half, for that first half an hour, Ipswich weren't particularly great in the final third. Leif Davis had a right-footed volley, didn't he, where he hit it into the ground, easy save for Zetterstrom, and then O'Shea hit the post from the corner. But I say from free play, they didn't really create that many chances, even though they were dominating the game.
So Ipswich will get us back underway. They'll be kicking from right to left as we look. Brilliant commentary position we've got for you. Bang on the halfway line in the main stand. To our left, the Bobby Robson stand. The Ipswich will be attacking in their blue shirts and socks and white shorts. Derby in their first choice colours of white shirts and shorts with black socks with black shorts. They're kicking Derby towards the Sir Ralph Ramsey stand to our right-hand side, if you know Portman Road. I'll quickly run you through the lineups. For Ipswich, it's Palmer in goal, Young, O'Shea, Greaves and Davis, Matusiwa, Kayuste, McAteer, Chaplin, Philogene and Hurst in a 4-2-3-1. 3-5-2 for Derby, Zetterstrom the keeper, Sanderson, Clark and Forsyth, then Johnston, Adams, Travis, Bobby Clark and Elder behind Brewster and Morris in attack. And the ball's back with Alex Palmer in the Ipswich goal, former West Brom man. There's a few West Brom players here, like Dara O'Shea and Darnell Furlong, who pitched up this week from the Baggies. Lovely turn from Kayuste to get away from Brewster. Now here's Jaden Philogene, left-hand side, near side to us. Works it back in field to Greaves near the halfway line. Davis was calling for it further down that left-hand side. It's got in field to Matusiwa from Greaves. Lovely ball up to Chaplin at the edge of the area. Tried to find Hurst, I think, but played the ball wide of the intended target and Derby could just hoof it clear. 1-0 Ipswich.
He just chose the wrong option there. Connor Chaplin inside right position, just got it in from Matusiwa. And on his right-hand side, McAteer was completely unmarked. You said there, just tried to roll it in to Hurst, where he should just let it roll across his body and put it out to McAteer.
In it goes from Davis to find Hurst. Takes a very heavy touch and it's hit against him for a goal kick for Derby County away to our left-hand side, to be taken by Jacob Zetterstrom, who will not have been happy with the way that the first goal went in. But there we are, that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. You miss a corner and next thing you know, it's 1-0.
To be fair, Dance, he got away one as well, didn't he? Because he missed the next one completely. And O'Shea should have just headed it at the far post, ended up hitting the post.
Bobby Clark plays it through to Brewster, is onside and through the middle for Derby. Can he equalise? Hits it against the arm of an Ipswich player, it looked to me. And the referee has given a penalty. He's given the handball. And there is going to be a card issued to Leif Davis. Will it be a straight red card? He's planted his face in the turf. It's like he doesn't want to know what the decision is from referee Lee Doughty, but Brewster tried to flick it goalwards. It hit the arm of Leif Davis, and now it's the referee's decision as to what the colour the card is. But it is a penalty to Derby County no matter what.
Well, Davis has taken Leif out the goalkeeper's book there because he was the last man as Brewster broke clear. Actually, it was a really poor touch at first, and he looked like he was just going to try and dink it over Palmer. Davis slides in and pretends it has hit him in the face, but it hasn't hit him in the arm. I'm just waiting for Lee Doughty, the referee, to make his decision.
Well, he's standing by the penalty spot now. I don't know what he's waiting for, because there's Derby players surrounding him saying what's going on. Alex Palmer being told now to get back to his goal line.
Surely that's denying of a
clear goal-scoring opportunity.
Because he's hit his arm. He's hit his arm as Bruce had tried to flick it past him. So does Lee Doughty, the referee, think that because Palmer's come out and made himself big that he would have saved it anyway?
Well, Davis is none the wiser. None of us are any the wiser. He's basically stood at the edge of the area, hoping he can defend this penalty. But what it does mean, it's still 11 against 11. No card issued that I could see of any colour to Leif Davis for that incident. But what it does mean is that Carlton Morris has the responsibility for Derby County from the spot. 3-3 so far for the new signing from Luton Town. And he now has the chance to equalise for the Rams with 4 minutes gone in this second half. Morris waits, a 3 or 4 pace run-up to come, up against Alex Palmer at the Sir Alf Ramsey end of the ground away to our right. Waits for the referee's whistle. Morris takes a deep breath. Little stutter, runs up to the ball, right-footed, buries it in the bottom corner, and Derby County are level at Portman Road. Ipswich have been pegged back again. Is it going to be another afternoon of frustration for the relegated Premier League side back in the Championship, not to pick up 3 points, because the Rams are level, and it's 4-4 for Carlton Morris, 1-1.
Morris dances over to the Derby County fans over in the far left-hand side. Fantastic penalty. Just made sure that he took his deep breaths, composed himself, looked at Palmer and decided he wasn't going to go goalkeeper dependent, because he just whipped it across his body with his right foot, low to his left-hand side. Palmer dives to his left-hand side, goes completely the wrong way. Brilliant penalty from Carlton Morris. 4-4 for him this season. Derby County get themselves back in the game here at Portman Road, 1-1.
And Ipswich could probably count themselves a little fortunate to still have 11 players on the field. I can only assume that Lee Doughty assumed that the handball from Leif Davis was accidental, or not denying a clear goal-scoring opportunity, but by letter of the law, his hand was in an unnatural position and therefore penalty kick.
Yeah, but Dance is denying a goal-scoring opportunity because he's hit it with his hand as the ball's going towards goal. So Lee Doughty, the referee, must have thought that Palmer was going to save it anyway, but how does he know? How does he know it's not going to be flicked past him? So I think Leif Davis throwing himself on the floor and pretending he hit me in the face, you know, he's obviously trying to get away with one, but he's actually got away with one because he should have been sent off.
Answers on a postcard, please.
But the good thing about it is we're not going to look at it for 3.5-4 minutes.
Yeah, a bit like they did at Stamford Bridge at lunchtime, live on Talksport, where Josh King thought he'd given Fulham the lead, only for CSI Stockley Park to rule it out. And it ended up in the end with Chelsea winning by 2-0 in the lunchtime kickoff on Talksport. Here on Talksport 2, Middlesbrough went top of the Championship with their 1-0 win against beleaguered Sheffield United. 1-1 here. So Derby get themselves level. Just the tonic. Sanderson gets his chest to the ball just in time. Touched up to halfway by Brewster. Given away by Morris to Connor Chaplin. Centre of the Derby half. Just lays it off to Matasiwa. Plenty of space for Ashley Young down the right-hand side. Matasiwa tried to find him with the ball that was almost too clever from Azor Matasiwa, and comfortably intercepted at the back by Derby County. But they don't hold on to the ball for very long, the Rams, and Ipswich have it back. 1-1. 7 minutes gone in the second half. Here is Leif Davis, still on the field of play. Plays it out to Ashley Young, so it goes from left to right. Casey McAteer gives it back to Ashley Young, preferred in the right-back berth to Ben Johnson this afternoon for Ipswich Town. In it goes to Kiyusta, just inside the Derby half of the field. Again, everybody in white behind the ball. Here's a little run from Matasiwa, finds Hurst inside the box. The angle's tight, great foot in from Carlton Morris, from Matt Clark, I should say. And down went George Hurst. And the referee has not given a penalty kick, nor has he given a yellow card for simulation. Or is he going to give a yellow card for simulation? He's waiting for Hurst to get to his feet. There was a vital footing, I think, from Craig Forsyth in the end to keep it away from Hurst. And indeed, yes, a yellow card for the Ipswich number 9. So no yellow card for giving away a penalty, but there is a yellow card for a dive.
It was a brilliant no-look pass from Matasiwa on the edge of the 18-yard box. Just gave the Derby centre after his eyes, just put it into George Hurst, takes a touch out of his feet, and it's Matt Clark who comes sliding in, and it is a dive. It's good refereeing from Lee Doughty, because there's no need for George Hurst to actually go to ground, because it doesn't look like there's any contact from Matt Clark. And to be fair, George Hurst hasn't complained, Dance, has he, to the referee?
1-1 here. Now there's a handball against a Derby player, Ibu Adams. Oh, and then he went in strongly, and Matasiwa long after the whistle had gone. And now Lee Doughty wants to have a word with the Derby County captain. Matasiwa lying on his side, just next to the centre circle, the Ipswich midfielder. Crunching challenge, and that was a good 2 seconds after Lee Doughty had blown his whistle for an initial foul by a Derby player. What's he going to do with Ibu Adams? He's going to book him here. The card is going to be yellow for the Derby County skipper. What do you make of that, Perry Groves?
I think he's probably just about right. You can tell the Ipswich Town fans aren't very happy with it, but it was an unnecessary challenge from Ibu Adams. As just there, Lee Doughty, the referee, had blown the whistle, and Matasiwa just moved the ball away from his feet. And then Ibu Adams, I think he just got carried away with the emotions of the game, just comes sliding in. And on that one, I think Lee Doughty is just about right.
Ipswich 1, Derby 1. 9 minutes gone in the second half. It's getting feisty here in Suffolk on Talksport 2. Ipswich's free kick rolled into Jaden Philogene, clips it into the area, head goes down, Hurst in front of goal, heads it straight at the keeper. There were 3 Ipswich players queuing up for a header as it was knocked across the face of goal. Hurst was beautifully placed, but inexplicably nodded it straight at Zetterstrom, who made an easy save. 1-1 it stays.
It's a great ball in from Philogene with his right foot, just feeding it into the far post. O'Shea gets the head down, and I think George Hurst has had probably a better minute in his career than he's just had here, because he's just been booked for diving, and he's missed an absolute sitter, because as the ball bounces up, he's only 6 yards out. All he's got to do is put it either side of Zetterstrom. He actually heads it straight at him. Dance, he could have taken it down, could have chested it and smashed the volley in. He said there was 3 Ipswich Town players unmarked. That's a really bad miss from George Hurst.
1-1 it stays. 10 gone in the second half on Talksport 2. AFC Wimbledon in front of Bradford. Matty Stevens for the Dons, and Swansea lead at Sheffield United by Sheffield Wednesday, I beg your pardon, by a goal to nil. Zanfir Potnick for the Swans at Hillsborough. Not a good day again for the Sheffield club. Sheffield United beaten at Middlesbrough at lunchtime. Both those sides in the bottom 3. Ipswich coming forward at 1-1 with Dara O'Shea. Out to the right-hand side, and Casey McAteer plays the ball along the deck into the area. Hits the first Derby defender, Craig Forsyth, and Carlton Morris is giving chase up to halfway, but Dara O'Shea keeps himself goal side and then hits it against Morris quite cleverly to win the throw. In the Premier League, it's now Wolves 1, Everton 3. Kiernan Dewsbury Hall for Everton, and Wrexham lead a Millwall in the Championship. Kiefer Moore keeps his goal tally going just shy of the hour mark. He's given the Welsh side the lead at the Den. Here at Portman Road, Ipswich Town 1, Derby County 1. Carlton Morris, who's just equalised from the penalty spot for the Rams, heads the ball in field. Bit of head tennis around the midway point of the Ipswich half. Half cleared away by Ipswich, but Sanderson runs onto the loose ball just over the halfway line. Pressurised by McAteer, has to go back into his own half for Matt Clark. Looking out to the left-hand side for Callum Elder. Good knockdown. Bobby Clark keeps the ball in play on that far side of the field, then gets pushed over by Matasiwa. And that will be a free kick for Derby County as Walsall take the lead at MK Dons in League 2. Charlie Lakin puts the Saddlers ahead at unbeaten Milton Keynes. Free kick to Derby here, 1-1. Perry Groves, this is quite good fun, this, isn't it?
What happened, Dance, is Derby County have came out in this second half, and they have played 10-15 yards further up the pitch. You can tell that John Eustace said we've got to make it competitive. Exactly what they've done. From the penalties point of view, actually Leif Davis had a nightmare double fault, because he's the one who let Brewster run away from him and then obviously handballed it.
Free kick for Callum Elder to take on the far left-hand side for Derby County. Only 10 yards or so inside Ipswich territory. High looping centre into the area. Carlton Morris will actually pick it up down by the corner flag on this near side. On the right, skips away from Davis, works it back to Travis at the edge of the area. Travis gives it back to Morris down the right-hand side of the box. Clips to the far post, over the head of Clark. Comes down for Brewster with a drive. Hits an Ipswich player. Claims for handball, not given by the referee. And then Ipswich bring it clear. And then there's a a foul that's been brought back for a foul on an Ipswich player. But that was again good industry from Derby County. Morris with a lovely ball in, and Brewster fired it goalwards. And I think he was trying to claim, Rhian Brewster, that it hit an Ipswich hand. Nothing doing, says the referee. Stays 1-1 on Talksport 2.
Yeah, it's really good play from Derby County. Great little ball from Travis. Just puts it inside Philogene for Carlton Morris, and he's a centre forward dance, and he knows what sort of cross you're putting in. So as you get closer to the byline, you just dinked out the far post. I've got to say, I thought that Matt Clark, who stayed up from Derby's corner, was going to head it into an empty net, and it was brilliant defending from Ashley Young, coming in from the right back position, just making sure that he makes that extra body on the far post. Just got a little touch to take it away from Matt Clark, but Derby County have come out firing in this second half.
Just shy of the hour mark then on Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. It is Ipswich Town 1, Derby County 1. Hope you're enjoying this game as much as myself, Ian Danter and Perry Groves are enjoying bringing it to you. Plenty of industry out there and plenty of talking points.
Dance, we just saw there a difference from Derby County. Ipswich trying to play out from the backwards from the goal kick, and Bobby Clark has gone and engaged onto Matasiwa.
Oh, knocked down by Carlton Morris for Bobby Clark at the edge of the area. Just can't get past Ashley Young, but it did take a touch off Young. Corner kick to Derby County. The Rams are pushing forward, wanting to get their noses in front here.
What he said about playing further up the pitch, and what's happened is, we said Bobby Clark has gone on to Matasiwa and Ipswich in possession. Ipswich give possession away. That means that Bobby Clark is closer to Carlton Morris. He gets onto the flick on, looks like he's going to get it onto his left foot, gets his shot away, takes a deflection, corner for Derby County over on their left hand side.
Max Johnston is going to take it from that far side of the field. Right footed in swinger, Clark goes up at the near post. That's Matt Clark. Adams was there as well, but it'll drift away to the left-hand side where Ipswich pick it up with Dara O'Shea. Lofts a ball downfield, looking for Jaden Philogene. Headed away by Bobby Clark, back defending. But the header won't reach halfway. It's picked up by Ashley Young on the right for Ipswich. Feeds it down the right-hand side for Philogene. Running at Brewster. Comes in field, Jaden Philogene for Ipswich. Little square ball on for Kayusta. Kayusta runs into Matt Clark, who gets it half clear. And then a brilliant challenge from Travis to take it away from Philogene before Kayusta fouls Travis. And Perry Groves doesn't think that's a free kick, even though the referees give it. 1-1. It's all happening here.
I thought it was a really good challenge from Kayusta, because as Travis just went to run away from the ball, then Kayusta makes sure he just got his left foot, put it across Travis. Looked like he just nicked the ball first. But Lee Doughty, the referee, decides it's a foul. And now it's Derby County just trying to take this thing out of the game.
We've got a goalkeeper twisted sock situation here. Jacob Zetterstrom suddenly sat down inside his penalty area, and wouldn't you just know it, everybody's coming to the near touch line to take on water and a bit of coaching advice.
I think you're being rather harsh there, because I think there's actually a finger has come out of Zetterstrom's glove. I think
is that what it is?
He's in a lot of trouble.
Displaced finger.
You can actually see.
Manchester United 1, Burnley 1. Lyle Foster equalises for the Clarets at Old Trafford in the Premier League. Northampton lead at Leyton Orient in League One. Northampton got their first win of the season last time out, but they lead through Sam Hoskins at Brisbane Road. Chesterfield 2, Crawley 2, Armando Dobra. So they're level. They were 2-0 down, Chesterfield at home. It's now 2-2, and I gather Manchester United have gone 2-1 up against Burnley. I'll confirm the scorer for you in a minute. Brian Burmo it is who's got the goal. So it's all happening at Old Trafford this afternoon. As soon as Burnley got themselves level, United get themselves back in front. So the coaching is complete. Zetterstrom appears none the worse for wear. Yeah, I think
our listeners are just worried about his welfare.
Thank you for your concern.
Confirm that Zetterstrom is okay.
And before I start getting up, every club does it. Every club does it.
It's called being professional. It's professional sport. So basically, they just want to take the sting out of the game. You can hear like the Ipswich Town fans getting riled up because there have been a few decisions they don't think have gone their way. So Zetterstrom has just been very shrewd, just gone down, pretended that he's got a little bit of cramp in his calf. How do goalkeepers get cramp? They don't run around.
Well, it could have been his headband. I don't know. It could have been his headband that was causing him an issue.
I think you're being a bit facetious, because it's actually an Alice band.
Oh, Alice band, sorry. Forgive me for the indiscretion. Luton lead 3-0 at Burton. Zach Nelson with the third for the Hatters at the Pirelli. 1-1 here. We're back underway on Talksport 2. 62 minutes played. There's an Ipswich player down and Callum Elder. Both McAteer and Elder both down. They've both collided. That's not nice. They do genuinely need treatment out there, although Elder is already sitting up and McAtee is standing up, but I think they're both going to receive treatment and have to go off because they both went down in a heap from the initial aerial challenge. 1-1 the score on Talksport 2.
Yeah, as the ball just dropped out of the air, Elder just comes in the blind side of McAtee. It's completely accidental. It's just like a clash of heads. To be fair to both players, they've got themselves up pretty quick. The physios have come on, but he said their dance I'd have to go off on the side of the pitch because concussion protocol, just make sure that they're okay.
Bradford equalise against AFC Wimbledon 2-2 at Valley Parade. Bobby Poynton gets the Bantams level. Motherwell in front against Kilmarnock in Scotland. That's 2-1. Manny Longello, once of West Ham and Birmingham, puts the Mothers ahead. Notts County leader unbeaten Tranmere. Kellen Gordon, I think that's his second of the afternoon. Tranmere 1, Notts County 2 in League 2. So in the Premier League right now, it is 2-1 to Manchester United against Burnley. Still goalless between Sunderland and Brentford. Bournemouth still 1-0 up at Tottenham. And Wolves 3-1 down at home to Everton as Bolton equalise at Blackpool in League 1 through Mason Burstow, the former Chelsea youngster. That's 1-1 at Bloomfield Road.
See, Blackpool have not lost at home in the league against Bolton since December 1977.
And they're still not, because it's level. Flicked on by Kayusta as Ipswich try and bring the ball forward. Given away, though, by Philogene. Here's Rhian Brewster clipping the ball, looking for Morris at the far post, but overhit the cross, and it will just drift out of play for a throw-in to Ipswich Town. I think both McAtee and Elder are going to be allowed back on the field in a minute.
It's just Brewster just trying to feed it into Carlton Morris. Again, I think he chose the wrong option because Johnson made a really good run on the outside of him, the right side. If he just puts him in, then he's free. He's got a shot on goal. But
just overcooked the cross, didn't he?
Yeah, Derby have been a lot more adventurous in this second half.
Haven't they just? And they have their equaliser to show for it. 25 minutes to go. 1-1. Matt Clark dispossessed by Hurst just shy of the halfway line. Immediately feeds it over halfway for McAtee, who's running at Craig Forsyth. Down the right-hand side of the area. Tries to go inside Forsyth, who stays on his feet and wins the ball back well for Derby County. And then he will just clear it downfield as it's rolled back to him, looking for Morris. Ashley Young wins the header instead. Now Morris nods it down, and it'll be picked up by Callum Elder. And across comes Ashley Young and puts it out of play for a throw. Watford 1, Southampton 1. Watford equalised through Quadro Bar. Exeter go 2-0 up on Peterborough in League 1. Josh McGuinness, veteran striker, puts Exeter 2 up against Peterborough, who still haven't won. Penny for the thoughts of Adrian Durham over on Talksport right now as his beloved Posh are behind at St James Park. Here at Portman Road it's 1-1. Ipswich coming forward with Kayusta, who collides with Travis after he'd gone to ground. That didn't look a particularly nice challenge from Lewis Travis on Jens Kayusta, who is thankfully sitting up, but the referee wants a word with Derby's new signing. 1-1.
We just saw a difference in the energy from Derby County. Bobby Clark, who lost the ball initially, so Kayusta just doing his drop of the shoulder, trying to drift away from the ball. And Ipswich Town's captain and Derby County's captain, Adams and O'Shea, just having a little word with Lee Doherty, just putting their cases forward.
And now there is the yellow card for Travis on his debut for Derby County. Just left his foot in, frankly, on Jens Kayusta. So it'll be a free kick to Ipswich Town. I'll run you through the scores in the Championship whilst we've got a break in play here. Blackburn 0, Norwich 1. Blackburn down to 10. Sargent with the goal. Bristol City 3, Hull City 1. Ipswich 1, Derby 1 here at Portman Road. Millwall 0, Wrexham 1. Oxford 1, Coventry 2. Portsmouth 1, Preston 0. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Swansea 1. And Watford 1, Southampton 1. There is a triple change coming up for Ipswich Town, starting with Connor Chaplin making way for Sammy Smodics, the Republic of Ireland striker. Chuba Akpom is going to come on a minute, but not before Jack Clark has replaced Casey McAtee. Of course, McAtee picked up that little head knock a little earlier. And it's a straight swap up front as well, Perry Groves, as Chuba Akpom comes on for George Hurst. Can Chuba Akpom get his Ipswich Town goal-scoring career off underway with a quarter of the game to go here at Portman Road? 1-1.
Well, I say George Hurst hasn't covered himself in glory in the second half, makes an absolute sitter from 6 yards from a header that just bounced up where he should be scoring. Then he should have got a shot away, decided to take a dive, try and win a penalty. Then Clark slid in, quite rightly, the referee he decided to book him for diving. So you said Chuba coming on now, he's got a great chance to make his mark on this game.
So a triple change from Ipswich Town to try and affect matters here in front of their own here at Portman Road. 68 gone, 1-1 on Talksport 2. Long throw coming into the Derby box from Kiyuste for Ipswich. Up go the heads, it won't drop for Akpom. Volleyed away by Johnston at the back for Derby. Picked up by Ashley Young. Lobs it back towards the penalty area. Bounces somewhat awkwardly, but Zetterstrom can claim before it goes over his head. Exeter have got a third against Peterborough now. 3-0 to the Grecians, and it's another for Josh McGuinness down there in Devon. Poor touch there from Dara O'Shea, and Brewster is starting forward for Derby into the area. Brewster 2-1. Rian Brewster latched onto an error from Dara O'Shea, ran forward into the area, put it low past Alex Palmer, and Derby come from behind to lead at Portman Road with 20 minutes to go. Ipswich Town 1, Derby County 2.
Well, that's worth millions to Derby County as Brewster just put them 2-1 up here at Portman Road. Really good play. It looked like he might have been offside to start. He just made sure that he checked his run, and then he gets into the 18-yard box. He's 1v1 with Palmer. Can he stay cool? Yes, he can. Just gets it onto his left foot, just rolls it past Palmer to put Derby County 2-1 up. Brewster's had a massive influence on this second half, getting the penalty at first, and then obviously putting Derby 2-1 up with a brilliant finish. Just make sure he just gets the ball off O'Shea, then goes past Matisiwa, gets into the 18-yard box, keeps his cool, brilliantly composed with his left foot, gives Palmer absolutely no chance whatsoever. You have to say Derby County are well worth their lead in this second half dance. They've come up firing.
His first Derby County goal after his move from Sheffield United. Rian Brewster only now just making his way back to the halfway line. So they've turned it around big style here at Portman Road with 20 minutes to go, and that just after Ipswich had made that triple attacking change. Now they find themselves behind Kieran McKenna's side. Talksport 2 in the Championship. Thrill a minute. Always action, always drama, always talking points, always brilliant. Here's Jaden Philogene lobbing the ball into the edge of the Derby area. Sanderson gets there first. Anywhere will do from Ibu Adams, just hoofs it high into the Suffolk sky. Where's that going to drop? Ricochets back towards the halfway line. In for a grandstand finish here because Ipswich have got to go for it. They don't want to go into international break without a win to their name so far this season. Matasiwa with a little flick back heel into the area. Headed away by Sanderson once more, then brought away by Adams, but there's a Derby player down inside the box. It's Craig Forsyth that's going to need treatment. He's holding his groin or holding his side, but he's not looking in good shape, Craig Forsyth. So Perry Groves, 18 and a half minutes to go, and Ipswich suddenly find themselves behind. We were saying at half-time that 1-0 wasn't enough.
You could tell that at half-time, John Euston has said to this Derby County side, you're still in this game. I wasn't happy with the last 15 minutes because you went too passive and dropped too deep. They played a bit further up the pitch. And you saw a brilliant example there when the ball drops down in the middle of the half of Ipswich Town. O'Shea's got the ball and he tries to bring it down off of his chest, and the nearest player to him is Rian Brewster, and he's the one who goes and closes him down. O'Shea actually should win the block tackle and he just nips it past him. That means that he's the wrong side of Matasiwa, who's trying to get back and get in touch with him, and then he just stays really cool with his left foot and rolls it past Palmer. But in the first half dance, that wasn't happening because they were far too deep.
Oldham 0, Gillingham 1. Sam Vokes, what a great signing for Gillingham. They've not lost under Gareth Ainsworth since he took over there, and they lead by a goal to 0 at Oldham. And Burnley equalise at Manchester United for a second time. 2-2 at Old Trafford. Jaden Anthony this time with the equaliser. You're missing none of the action here because Craig Forsyth is only just now sitting up inside the penalty area. It gives me a chance to remind you that Talksport Breakfast will be back on Monday morning to pick the bones out of everything that's gone on in the sporting world this weekend. Jeff Stelling and Ali McCoy's Monday morning from 6 o'clock when you wake up to guide you through all the talking points. There's a lot of football tomorrow, of which Perry's going to be a part of. He's going to be at the City Ground for Nottingham Forest against West Ham.
Could be Graham Potter's last game in charge if they get beat under massive pressure.
Well, Craig Forsyth is still lying flat on his back, and the Ipswich players are not happy, but I don't think Forsyth's in a particularly good way here. Hopefully he's all right. Oxford United 2, Coventry 2 meantime. Cameron Brannigan equalises for Oxford United at the Kazam. Reading take the lead against Port Vale in League One. Both sides yet to win in the league this season at the Select Car Leasing, but it's Paddy Lane that's put Reading ahead against the Valiants. So tomorrow on Game Day Live, Sam Matterface and Perry and the team from 1:30 on Talksport. You've got two 2 o'clock kickoffs, Brighton Man City and Forest West Ham, the game that Perry's at. And then Liverpool Arsenal is a 4:30 kickoff. And we've got a bonus commentary for you tomorrow night from Villa Park at 7 o'clock on Talksport. Aston Villa against Crystal Palace to round off your Sunday evening listening before a bit of Trans-Europe Express. I'm delighted to say Craig Forsyth is back on his feet, not the worse for wear. It seems he's going to be back on in a minute. Don't forget the Old Firm tomorrow as well at high noon, Rangers Celtic. And there's 3 other Scottish Premiership games that Sam and the team will keep you in touch with tomorrow afternoon, with games at Dundee, Aberdeen and Hibs.
I love the irony of football fans. The Ipswich Town fans are actually singing "You Don't Know What You're Doing" to Lee Doughty, the referee. And they're quite lucky he doesn't know what he's doing, because he should have sent Leif Davis off.
It's 1-1, it's 2-1 rather here to Derby County. I beg your pardon, 74 minutes played. Ipswich had the lead at half-time, but Derby have fought back with a penalty from Carlton Morris and a first goal in Rams colours for Rhian Brewster. Foul by Bobby Clark in the centre circle on Dara O'Shea. Wanted a yellow card but didn't get one. He did get one, did he? It's a very quickly brandished yellow card. I wasn't even looking up. Cambridge 2, Newport County 0 in League 2. James Brophy for Cambridge, 3 wins in 5 so far this season for Neil Harris in Cambridge. Here's Jack Clark, one of those triple substitutes brought on by Kieran McKenna in a desperate bid to try and, well, at the time they came on when it was 1-1. Now they're 2-1 down, Ipswich. O'Shea across to Ashley Young, 15 minutes to go on Talksport 2 in bright sunshine in Suffolk. But it's a gloomy outlook along the terraces to my left and to my right as Ipswich push forward, trying to get themselves back level. Derby have got everybody back behind the ball in their own defensive third. Jack Clark just jinks inside from the left-hand touchline. Gets his head up, plays a square ball across to Ashley Young, who's pushed in field from right back. Swirls it out to the right-hand side, and Philogene, who's gone across to that right-hand side after the substitutions, Jaden Philogene. Looking to get the better of Bobby Clark down the left-hand side. Does he want a corner off Elder? He has. Ipswich corner at the Bobby Robson end, but they trail 2-1 on Talksport 2.
Yeah, worked it quite nicely on that right-hand side. Ashley Young just rolling it out to Philogene. Philogene thought he was 1v1 with Elder. To be fair to Bobby Clark, which Derby have done well in this second half, made sure he doubled up on him, got a little ricochet, corner for Ipswich over on the right-hand side.
Leif Davis to take it. Left-footed in-swinger right into the near post. It's headed out and then thumped downfield by Brewster. And Palmer has to run out to almost to the touchline in his own half, midway point, to retrieve it. The Ipswich goalkeeper gets his head up, hits a diagonal ball right to left, seeking out Dara O'Shea. Clear header that he's flicked on down the left-hand side for Akpom. Akpom, who lays it off to Jack Clark on this left-hand side for Ipswich. With his bright pink boots, comes in field. Clark gives it back to Leif Davis. Now Greaves takes over. Little swirling cross to the far post, but well claimed by Zetterstrom. And Derby maintain their 2-1 lead with 13 minutes to go on Talksport 2.
Yeah, just too much loft on it there from Jacob Greaves in that inside left position. Ipswich Town have actually gone all in, because now they're playing with 2 10s, with Smodics sort of in the inside right position and Jack Clark in this inside left position. We're back on up front, so it's how Derby are going to combat that.
Watford 1, Southampton 2. Ryan Manning puts Southampton ahead. Brentford have gone ahead at Sunderland. Well, we thought that in the first half, but VAR ruled it out. But they do lead. Igor Tiago puts Brentford ahead at the Stadium of Light. Wigan equalise at home to Stockport in League 1. Christian Sadie makes it 1-1. And another substitution here at Portman Road. And Jack Taylor has come on to replace Jens Kajusta in a like-for-like swap. Perry Groves in the centre of the Ipswich midfield.
Yeah,
2-1 Derby.
That's just a case of fresh legs, because Kajusta, obviously it's his first start of the season, so maybe we've just blown a little bit. Hasn't been as influential in this second half as what he was with Matasiwa in the first half, because that's all down to Derby County and the way they've stopped them two from playing.
Long ball downfield. Sees a push on an Ipswich player. Bristol City 4, Hull City 1. Max Bird with the fourth for Gerhard Struber's new look Bristol City. There's going to be a double change for Derby County in a minute. They lead 2-1, the Rams. They've got 12 minutes plus added time in this game to see out, to try and get their first win of the campaign. It's not just Ipswich Town who are desperate for a first win this season. Same applies to the visitors, and they've got their noses in front. Ozzo and Jackson just getting some final instructions from John Eustace down beneath us. Meantime, Ipswich have the ball on halfway, but given away by Philogene, trying to work it in field for Akpom. Matt Clark will roll it back to his keeper Zetterstrom, takes the touch on his right and then fires it downfield over the head of Brewster, and it might go out for a throw. I think Davis will keep it in play to prevent Derby being able to make those two changes, and it's rolled back to the goalkeeper Alex Palmer. Taylor comes short to collect the ball from just outside his own penalty area, having just been introduced as an Ipswich substitute. Cross to Young. Gives it back to Taylor, just shy of the centre circle now. Square ball to his left for Greaves, who put Ipswich ahead in the first half. Good galloping run down the inside left channel from Greaves. Gives it to Clark on the left-hand touchline, who immediately skips infield away from two challenges. Clark tries to roll it up to the edge of the area. Headed up in the air by Adams. Awkward header across the box from Callum Elder. And Ipswich win it back. Just over 10 minutes to go. 2-1 Derby. Clark keeps, Jack Clark that is, keeps it away from Morris. Now Young for Ipswich. Shovels it out to Philogene, right wing, up against Elder. Thought about putting an early cross in. He's got Bobby Clark to deal with as well down that right-hand side. Philogene goes to ground, and the referee gives a throw in the end to Derby County, and no foul to Philogene, who can't believe that's not been given his way. Wolves 2, Everton 3. Rodrigo Gomez gets one back for Wolves, but they still trail. Here comes the double change for John Eustace and Derby County. And Lewis Travis, who's been booked in this second half on his debut, he's coming off to allow David Ozzo to come on a second loan from Crystal Palace. Had a very successful first loan at Derby County last season. And the other change sees the goal scorer of what could be Derby's winning goal, Rhian Brewster, making way for a former Ipswich player. 199 appearances that Caden Jackson made in Suffolk. He's coming on as part of this double change for the Rams. 2-1 they lead, Perry Groves.
Yeah, I think Ozzo just coming in that centre midfield area. Lewis Travis did really, really well dance. We said that he's like the minder, isn't he? He just sort of stays a little bit deeper. But again, I think he was probably running on empty there. So Ozzo giving him fresh legs in there.
Oh, a nice round of applause there from the Ipswich faithful for Caden Jackson, remembering what he did for them. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Swansea 2. Ronald gets the second for the Swans. It's not getting any better in the Steel City, is it? And Watford 2, Southampton 2. Itakunda making it 2-2 at Vicarage Road in the Championship. Goals flying in this afternoon, including here at Portman Road, where Derby lead by 2-1 on Talksport 2. 8.5 minutes of normal time left. Ipswich coming forward. Down the left-hand side with Jack Clark. Tries to work it in field, but Ozzo will pick up the loose ball, the substitute, and drive forward. Runs into trouble. Picked up by Jack Taylor. Ozzo trying to get back goal side off him. Wants a couple of challenges, does Jack Taylor, and then Ozzo gets the better of him. And it's worked in field by Jackson to find Bobby Clark. Bobby Clark keeps the ball away from Ashley Young. Flicks it out to the right-hand side. Jackson loses out in a 50-50 with Leif Davis. Bromley 2, Harrogate 0 in League 2. Bromley going to stay unbeaten this season. Omar Sawumni with a second for them. Kilmarnock 2-2 at Motherwell. George Stanger. And the ball's gone out of play as Philogene tried to control the ball down the right-hand side. And it's a Derby County throw. And the natives are getting restless.
Really sloppy play from Ashley Young when you're just trying to exert that little bit of pressure. Then he just rolls the ball. He's only got to roll it out to Philogene, who's like 7 yards away from him. Just puts it out of play. Gives Derby County the chance to get the throw in and get their defensive shape.
Ipswich Town 1, Derby County 2. Ibu Adams, the Derby captain, hooks the ball back to his keeper Zetterstrom from midway point of his own half. Volleyed downfield first time by the Swedish goalkeeper, but it will bounce away from Carlton Morrison, nodded back to the Ipswich goalkeeper Palmer by O'Shea. Here's Matusiwa into the centre circle for Jack Taylor, keeps it away from Ozzo. Now a chance for Smodics to hit a diagonal ball to pick out Leif Davis, who's galloping down the left hand side, but he won't catch up with the ball before it drifts over the dead ball line, and Max Johnston had the measure of him anyway, I think. Goal kick to Derby County, the seconds tick away. 2-1 to the Rams.
I think it's just Sammy Smodics there, just trying to force issue a little bit too much, just put a diagonal ball out to his left hand side, fully like 50 yards, trying to just put in Davis. To be fair to Johnston, made sure he just tracked his run. Philogene, I just looked, obviously he was on the outside of Smodics, so just roll it out to me, let me go 1v1 against Elder.
Can Derby hold on? Less than 7 minutes to play. They lead 2-1, but here come Ipswich again. Oh, Philogene runs into Adams, who wins the ball back and clips it down the left-hand side, asking Carlton Morris to give chase, but it wouldn't stay in play. Drifts over the touchline on the far side for an Ipswich throw, and of course Ipswich are getting on with it. Chasing the game. 2-1 down. Also almost took the ball off Taylor's foot. Here's Clark, Jack Clark that is. He's pushed by Sanderson. And Sanderson's going to get a yellow card for that push on Jack Clark. How many Clarks is out there? Only 3, I think. Some with a knee and some without a knee.
I'm a size 9, what are you?
10.
Love the old Clark's machines when you go in there and measure your feet.
Oh, yeah.
Just looking at Derby, where they're defending with discipline, when the ball came into Jack Clark there, it was Sanderson who made sure he just released himself.
Davis, left-hand side, gets to the dead ball line for Ipswich. Puts the ball deep to the far post, brought down by Philogene, but that allows Bobby Clark to get it half clear. Matusiwa tried to get his knee over the ball and drive it goalwards, but he put it over the bar, and 2 Derby players injured themselves in trying to protect that shot that came in from Matusiwa. Adams and Bobby Clark are the players that are down, needing treatment, and that's just going to add to the frustration inside, well, 3 1/4 sides of Portman Road. With 5 minutes of normal time to go, it is still Ipswich 1, Derby 2 on Talksport 2. It's going to be a goal kick for Derby County. Bradford 3, AFC Wimbledon 2. Don't know if Mark Wilson's still listening. He'll be delighted with that. Will Swan with a third for the Bantams. Mark was up at the Riverside for Talksport 2 this lunchtime as Middlesbrough went top of the championship with the 1-0 win they got against Sheffield United. Now a debut for Ipswich Town here, Perry Groves. They've taken off Leif Davis and they are bringing on Azon, the Spanish youngster on loan from Como in Italy, managed these days by Cesc Fabregas, your old mate.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what sort of shape Azon's in, because he hasn't played any competitive football since February. Obviously, he's been at Como on loan. I think he's been involved in pre-season, so Azon will go up front and Akpom will just drop a little bit deeper off of him.
Yeah. Well, he's only got 4 minutes plus added time to make an impact, Ivan Azon. As I say, came from Como, 22 years of age, scored 8 goals in the Italian equivalent of the championship last season. Derby County have won themselves a free kick about 15 yards inside the Ipswich half of the field, out to the left hand side near the touchline. Again, Ipswich holding a very, very high line, good 30 yards from goal, really compressing the play. Elder's going to take it. Jackson made a run down the left-hand side, would have been offside. In it comes from Elder. Matt Clark goes up for a header, nods it down, drops for Bobby Clark at the edge of the area, and it's only just wide from Bobby Clark. He drove it into the turf. Palmer was at full stretch, flying to his right, but it went just the other side of the post. Goal kick, 2-1 Derby.
Yeah, there's a bit of scuffer there from Bobby Clark. Really good header from Matt Clark. Just nodded it down to him as the ball set up. Looks like he was going to volley it. He actually went to half volley it and just hit the ball into the ground. Just bounced up. And in the end, it was a good 2 yards wide of Palmer's right-hand post.
That would have been game over. As it is, 2.5 minutes of normal time to go, plus added time on Talksport 2. Ipswich 1, Derby 2, the score. Derby County looking for their first win of the season and therefore deny Ipswich theirs. Jack Clark coming in field for the hosts. Plays it across to Young. Young finds Matusiwa, but the ball was a little heavy. He couldn't quite control it. Breaks on the right-hand side for Ipswich Town. They've kept hold of it. O'Shea Plays it out to the right-hand side. Chuba Akpom now picks it up. Works his way in field to the edge of the area. Left-footed drive just over the bar. Lovely hit from Chuba Akpom. Just couldn't keep it down. And it's a goal kick to Derby County. And they're closing in on the 3 points. Are the visitors. 2-1 they lead.
Really unlucky from Chuba Akpom. Just playing that little bit deeper off of Azon. Just getting himself in that inside right position. Just cutting in onto his left foot. And he's just trying to bend it into Zetterstrom's top right-hand corner. The Derby goalkeeper was stretching, and thankfully for Derby County, the ball just went over the crossbar. And now it's just a case of, we've coming up to a minute to go with normal time for Derby County, of what we have, we hold.
Offside against the Derby player. Free kick to Ipswich, taken quickly. Barnsley 3, Huddersfield 0. Another for Davis Keeler Dunn. For the Tykes, points are safe there in that Yorkshire derby. Here come Ipswich, 2-1 down, desperate for an equaliser at least. Worked in field by Jack Clark to Matasiwa. Centre of the Derby half is O'Shea. Shovels it just to his right for Young. Young thought about an early cross, but he's faced it by Bobby Clark. So he goes out to Philogene. Matasiwa plays a 1-2 with Jaden Philogene. Gets it onto his left foot, thought about a cross into the box, held up by Callum Elder. There's 4 or 5 Ipswich players waiting for a ball in. Smodics darts down the right-hand side of the box, keeps it from going out for a goal kick. Works it back to Philogene. In comes the cross from Jaden Philogene. It's very high, looping, headed away by Max Johnston, but picked up by Jacob Greaves, who stayed forward for Ipswich. Rolls it back for Jack Clark, left-hand corner of the area. Jinks onto his right, went for goal, but couldn't wrap his foot round it. It went straight out. There was no curve on the ball. We were right behind that. It went a good 7 or 8 yards wide. Goal kick. And Andreas Weiman's going to come on for Derby County as we move towards added time. And he's going to come on for Bobby Clark as we head towards the last few minutes of the game. 2-1 Derby lead.
Well, Bobby Clark has worked his little socks off in this second half dance. He's been the one that's made sure when it comes to Matasiwa.
OK, now look, I was watching Leicester Birmingham last night, and my considerably better half said 9 minutes, that's a lot to add on. We've just had 13 minutes added on here.
Do you know what? I thought it was number 13 coming on.
No, 13 minutes of added time.
Do you know what? We get paid to do this, you know? This is incredible.
We should get paid by the word. Perry Groves and Ian Dancer with you. So we've still got 13 minutes at least of action to bring you here. So stay with us to see whether Derby can indeed hold out, or whether that 13 minutes that's just been held up by the 4th official is encouragement enough for Ipswich Town to try and get themselves a result in this game. Norwich have got all 3 points at Blackburn. Josh Sargent with a 91st minute goal, his second, and Norwich's second of the game. Blackburn 0, Norwich 2. Callum Elder is down. Let me run you through the scorelines that we've got around the grounds. In the Premier League, it's still Manchester United 2, Burnley 2, Sunderland 1, Brentford 1. Sunderland have equalised through a Lefay's penalty. Tottenham still trailing at home to Bournemouth with that early goal in the first half from Evan Nielsen. That was 5 minutes when that goal went in. Wolves 2, Everton 3 is still the scoreline at Molineux. They're into added time there. In the Championship, I told you Norwich have sealed the points at Blackburn. Bristol City 4-1 up against Hull. Derby 2-1 up here. We still haven't restarted. Wrexham 1-0 up at Millwall. Oxford 2, Coventry 2. Portsmouth 1, Preston 0. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Swansea 2. And Watford 2, Southampton 2. Minute and 45 of the minimum 13 has played. And finally we get play restarted with a Derby long throw down the left-hand side. Ball's out of play for a Derby County throw. Caden Jackson will take his time over getting it back into play.
So they're not going to be any rush, are they, Dads, now to take their throw in?
Well, you've got to be creative to waste time, and you've got 13 minutes of it to waste in added time. Callum Elder's going to take the throw, level with the 6-yard line down the left-hand side, and Carlton Morris is penalised for pushing and shoving on Ashley Young. Barnet equalise against Colchester.
Offside.
1-1 at the Hive. Danny Collins
VAR.
With the equaliser. No VAR. We are in a VAR-free zone, and aren't we happy about it, Perry Groves?
It's quite surprising that Elder had his long throw over in the...
Oh, given away by Ipswich at the edge of their own penalty area. Carlton Morris on a bulldoze his way through. Ipswich appear to have enough numbers back to get it away from danger. Indeed, they do in the end through Jack Taylor. And then Azon tries to get the better of Sanderson, and it's been given as a throw to Derby County. It came off the Ipswich substitute last of all. 2-1 Derby, 93 minutes played, still got 10 minutes to go.
Again, there was a little bit of mayhem and carnage on the edge of Ipswich Town's 18-yard box because it was their throwing in the far right-hand corner. They lost possession and came to Carlton Morris. The ball couldn't quite sit down for him to get his volley away. And now it's whether Ipswich Town can just have that bit of composure and see if they can craft the final chance to get themselves an equaliser.
2-1 Derby on Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. Here's Jacob Greaves, who'd given Ipswich the lead in the first half. Coming forward, inside left channel. Smodics went to ground, lays it off to Jack Clark. Greaves has made a great run into the area, hits it against Sanderson, doesn't go out, stays in play and hooked away by Caden Jackson. But picked up again for Ipswich by Dara O'Shea. Derby are defending their 18-yard box, that's it, nobody forward on halfway. Jack Clark, left-hand corner of the penalty area for Ipswich, trying to make room, maybe to get a shot away perhaps. Leaves it for Ashley Young. Young plays it back out to the left-hand side. Oh, it's overhit, intended for Jacob Greaves, and just trickles over the touchline for a Derby throw. And the Rams still lead 2-1 on Talksport 2.
A player of Ashley Young's experience. That's the second time he's done that and just rolled the ball out of play when he just got to roll it up to Jacob Greaves. The frustrating thing about Ipswich Town, Dance, is they have 6 forwards on the pitch now, right? Keeps getting into wide areas. If it comes to Jack Clark, he wants to cut inside, go onto his right foot, goes out to Villagine, and he wants to check back, roll it back. Just get the ball into the box. Just cross the ball and see if you can create some mayhem. Because at the moment, you said Derby dropping deeper, but for the back 5, everything is in front of them, Dan. It's all lateral. They can just see when the balls are coming in.
Another change for Derby. Max Johnston on debut. Brought in from Sturm Graz. He's off, and Ryan Nyambi has come on to replace him. For Derby County, former Blackburn and Wigan player joined on a free a couple of years ago. Livingston 1, Hearts 2, and Danny Bart's coming on as well. They've decided to make another change of Derby, and they're going to bring off Callum Elder, who has been in the wars a little bit this afternoon. He had that clash of heads a little earlier, so he's coming off. So Danny Bart up to help the centre halves, Sanderson and Clark. So I think that means Forsyth will move out to the left-hand side. So Livingston 1, Hearts 2. Remember, Hearts started the day second in the Scottish Premiership. Alexandros Kiziridis, I hope I've said that right, looks like he's won it for Hearts. Bristol City 4, Hull City 2. Hull get 1 back through Carl Joseph. And we're back underway on Talksport 2 at Portman Road. Ipswich 1, Derby 2. If you're just tuning into the climax of this game, we've still got a good 6 or 7 minutes to play. 13 minutes were added on by Lee Doughty after all the stoppages we've had and substitutions and whatnot in the second half. Azon's gone down writhing in agony, having been caught by Ozzo. And the referee Lee Doughty says that's just a free kick and nothing more. Sunderland have won it. They've come from behind to beat Brentford. Wilson Isidore, 96 minutes. Sunderland 2, Brentford 1. 2-1 to Derby here, deep in added time. Jack Clark coming in field from the left-hand side. Can't get the better of Nyambi. Out of play for an Ipswich throw. Now it's Ibu Adams who's gone down. Straight back on his feet because Ipswich have taken the throw. They're not mucking about, as you would imagine with a team that are trailing at home. Matasiwa, centre of the Derby half, clips it into the box. Smodics tries to loft it over Sanderson. Can't find his way through to find a teammate. Greaves with a lovely ball into the area. Headed up in the air by Matt Clark for Derby. Where's that going to drop? Drops at the edge of the area. Down goes the defender. And it was a push on Andy Vyman by the substitute Azon. And that will be a free kick to Derby, and they can clear their lines. We tick round past 97 minutes. 2-1 to Derby County.
Brilliant defending from Matt Clark, who's just moved out to the left-hand side of the 3 centre halves of Derby County. Obviously Danny Bart coming on, he's gone central, and Andy Vyman was very clever there, because as the ball bounced up, Azon was obviously keen to get the ball back for Ipswich Town, and he felt a little nudge in his back, and Vyman just went down. Lee Doughty, the referee, was on the spot, decided it's a foul.
Free kick taken downfield by Zetterstrom, out to the left-hand side, but went way over the head of Craig Forsyth. Young takes the throw in quickly for Ipswich, trying to get play going. They've got the ball inside their own half. It's worked up to halfway, given away though by Matasiwa. Derby have it back. Jackson works it back to Ozzo on halfway. Sanderson now steps in between two Ipswich players, clips it down the right hand side, asking Andy Vyman to give chase. Back at Derby for a second spell, Andreas Vyman. He won't catch up with that before it trickles over the dead ball line. Lincoln 1, Mansfield 1 in League One. Mansfield equalised late on through Nathan Mariah Welsh at Sinsel Bank. 2-1 Derby here on Talksport 2. 98 minutes gone. There were 13 minimum minutes added on, so still time for more goals here on Talksport 2. Taylor with a slightly wayward pass, but O'Shea could still pick it up on halfway for Ipswich Town. Matasiwa now plays it to his left, and Greaves is pushing forward again from the back for Ipswich. Out to Jack Clark, left-hand side. Early ball into Smodics. Half cleared by Sanderson for Derby, but comes back to Matasiwa. Nobody closing him down. He can bring the ball forward another 10-15 yards. Plays it across to Dara O'Shea, centre of the Derby half. Just to his right now, picking up the ball is Ashley Young. Out to Philogene, right wing, faced up by Forsyth. Philogene tries to put the cross in, blocks at source by Forsyth. Throw in to Ipswich Town, who trail 2-1 still.
Good defending from Forsyth, who's gone out to the left wing back position, 1v1 with Philogene, making sure that he can't get the cross in.
Throw in taken. Young, level with the 18-yard line, right-hand side, the far side for Ipswich as they attack the Bobby Robson stand in these closing stages. Carlton Morris tries to bring it clear for Derby, but runs into trouble. 99 minutes gone, 2-1 to Derby. Half clearance from Sanderson. Anywhere will do. Ebro Adams, he's just hoofed that, and it's been brought down by Palmer, the Ipswich goalkeeper, who stood just beyond the midway point of his own half. I mean, if Ebro Adams had really connected with that, Palmer would have been in trouble. Here's Jack Clark, jinking his way in field for Ipswich. Played out to Greaves, left-hand side, left-hand corner of the area. Cross into the box, headed up and out by Bart. Drops for Philogene, just outside the area. Gets it onto his left, and the shot is wayward and goes over the top and well wide. And it's a goal kick to Derby County, and you can hear the groans of frustration around Portman Road as the Rams are edging towards 3 precious points in Suffolk.
Yeah, just a bit of desperation there from Philogene coming in for that right-hand side, trying to get the ball onto his left foot, and Bennett inside Zetterstrom's top right-hand corner. I'm just looking at Ipswich, Dan. I know that obviously Kieran McKenna's gone all in, put all his forwards on, but Jack Clark, who's playing on this left-hand side, you want as much width as possible, you know, to create the angles, get the cross in. He's right-footed, so every time the ball comes out to him, he cuts in onto his right foot. So it's easy for the Derby back five because, as I said, the ball's in front of them.
Well, so, it's not the first inverted winger we've seen, is it? Happens a lot these days. Right-footed players on the left, left-footed players on the right. Bamboozles former Arsenal winger Perry Groves.
But the thing is, it's coming out to Jack Clark now, who's on the left-hand touchline. Go on the outside for a change.
He's come in field again, Jack Clark. Swings in the cross, right-footed, flicked on by Philogene. Azon went down inside the box, theatrically, looking for something not given by the referee. Comes out to Ashley Young. Tosses the ball back into the area. Matt Clark puts his head on it and gets it clear for Derby County as they continue to hang on here. 2 minutes of minimum stoppage time to go. Ipswich 2-1 down, desperate for an equaliser. Try and feed the ball through. A free kick given to Ipswich Town as Smodic was bundled over about 25 yards from goal by David Ozzo. Free kick to the hosts, and they are desperate for this one to matter.
Well, you just got to make sure now. It looks like that Clark's going to take it. Ashley Young's just jogging over. He's going to make sure this will probably be Ipswich Town's last chance, just to help the ball into the 18-yard box. All Ashley Young's got to do in that inside left position, right-footed with his run up 2 yards, just make sure that he helps the ball in between the 6-yard box and the penalty spot, so that the Ipswich Town centre halves with O'Shea has come up.
Just a 2-man wall for Derby, Clark and Vyman. It's Ashley Young stood over this free kick to the left of centre, 30 yards from goal. Derby holding their defensive line just inside the 18-yard box. In it comes Azon, hits it up in the air, punched away by Zetterstrom. Jack Clark tries to volley it goalwards. It's blocked away by Nyambi, and out for an Ipswich throw on this left-hand side.
It's a really, really good ball in there for Ashley Young, just feeding it in with his right foot. As the ball, Ipswich Town get the first contact.
Jack Clark gets a deep ball to the far post. Can they keep it in play? They can, and it's gone behind for a corner kick to Ipswich right at the end. Manchester United have won it against Burnley in added time. Bruno Fernandes with a 97th minute penalty. And a corner to Ipswich Town, and Alex Palmer's come up from the back. to see if he can help Ipswich get themselves level in the last minute of minimum stoppage time. Derby 2-1 up. Ashley Young to take it. It's where the Bobby Robson stand meets the Cobbold stand on the far left-hand side of the field to us. A right-footed outswinger to come from Young. Philogene waiting right-hand corner of the box. In it comes from Young, over the head of the goalkeeper. Drops on the penalty spot, away by Carlton Morris. Goalkeeper's out of his ground, but Matasiwa will get there first for Ipswich. Ashley Young just lobs it towards the edge of the Derby area. Matt Clark there again to head clear for the Rams. Helped on by Carlton Morris. It's up to the referee now. We played the minimum 13 minutes. Can Ipswich fashion one last chance? Young sends a diagonal ball into the box, headed up and out by Sanderson. Down goes Taylor. Penalty! Jack Taylor brought down. Ipswich get a penalty right at the end. A yellow card for Ryan Nyambi. Jack Taylor went down just inside the box, and Lee Doughty did not hesitate to point to the spot, and Ipswich have a chance to snatch a point with possibly the last kick of the football.
Dance, all that was Ashley Young helping the ball into the 18-yard box. Sanderson wins the first ever Derby count as the ball drops down. Jack Clark gets to the ball first. Ozzo comes across with his right foot. 100% it's a penalty. Lee Doughty, the referee, is only 8 yards away, gives himself that little bit of time, little bit of thinking time, points to the penalty spot.
Yellow card for Carlton Morris for trying to get words in at Jack Clark, who's just placed the ball on the spot. What a moment in this game. Ipswich desperate to snatch a point here, having trailed for most of this second half. The referee now just going to have a word with Zetterstrom to remind him of his responsibilities of making sure he keeps 1 foot on the line at least when the ball is struck. Now he moves back to his goal line. Could be the last kick of the game, this. Could earn Ipswich a point. It's Clark against Zetterstrom. Referee checking to make sure all the other players are not encroaching. Jack Clark, hands on hips. Can he bring Ipswich Town level? Yes, he can! Right-footed into the far corner of the net. It is 2-2 at Portman Road, and somehow, some way, Ipswich appear to have snatched a point when it didn't look likely, and it came from the right boot of Jack Clark from the penalty spot. 2-2.
If the boot fits, you wear it. Jack Clark, absolutely ice cold in his veins. Just make sure that he composes himself, looks at Zetterstrom, runs up with his right foot, opens his body out, puts it to his right-hand side. Zetterstrom goes to his right, sends the goalkeeper wrong way. Ipswich Town get themselves back in this game here at Port Road 2-2.
105 minutes on the clock. Still playing on Talksport 2. Is there to be any more drama? Adams works it back to Matt Clark. Puts a diagonal ball into the box, but that will go straight through to Alex Palmer. Is there time for one more attack for Ipswich, maybe? Referee not putting his whistle to his lips yet. Ashley Young going to hit a Hail Mary downfield, as you know, leaves it for Matasiwa. They want to get it forward quickly to Ipswich Town. They're looking for a winner. Akpom leaves it for Greaves. Gives it back to Akpom, just inside the Derby half of the field. Square ball across to Young. Ipswich fans desperate fit to go into the penalty area. Young gets it on his left, and the referee blows for full time. The points are shared in a thriller at Portman Road, and neither side, neither Ipswich nor Derby, have got themselves a win going into the first international break. But Derby County thought they had got that first precious three-point haul, having come from behind, trailing at half-time to a Jacob Greaves header that had Ipswich in front. They got themselves 2-1 ahead, did Derby County, through a Carlton Morris pen after Leif Davis handled in the area, wasn't even booked for that, and Carlton Morris made it 1-1. Rhian Brewster capitalised on a mistake from Dara O'Shea to fire Derby in front with 20 minutes to go. But deep in added time, way beyond 100 minutes, Jack Clark brought down inside the area. Jack Taylor rather brought down inside the area. Jack Clark stepped up and fired home the right-footed penalty to earn Ipswich a share of the spoils. What a game, and what a climax at Portman Road. Ipswich Town 2, Derby County 2.
Wow, that was quite incredible drama. Wasn't the only place there was drama as well, because there was a late penalty for Manchester United against Burnley as well. Bruno Fernandes dispatching that. I feel like there are so many games still not finished, by the way. 20 minutes added at the Den between Millwall and Wrexham. Wrexham have just scored their second, though, as it looked as if Millwall were going to get themselves back into it. I think we should just allow 2 hours for football matches at the moment. It's 6 minutes past 5 and we've only just finished at Portman Road and at Old Trafford, and it's still continuing at the Den. Quite crazy, really, when you think about it. But what an end to the game, Perry Groves. Did Ipswich deserve to walk away with a point?
Yeah, you just say just about, Faye, to be fair, because they put Derby County under a lot of pressure. And I'm just looking at Jack Clark's penalty. That was scored in 90 plus 16 minutes.
I know, the 106th minute.
So actually, when Ipswich Town went 1-0 up through Jacob Greaves in the flat, that seems like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Honestly, we've been privileged to be here. It's been a brilliant game, brilliant advert for the Championship, and you'd say that just about right, honours end up even, but Derby County come up brilliantly in the second half after being 1-0 down. They played a little bit further up the pitch, and to be fair, it was Rhian Brewster who turned the game on his head. He went through 1v1 with Palmer. As he flicked the ball with his right foot, Leif Davis tracked his run and it hit his trailing arm, and quite rightly Lee Doughty, the referee, gave the penalty play. But I can't understand, it'd be interesting to see why he hasn't sent him off, because
or even booked him.
That is a denying of a goal scoring opportunity, unless he thinks that Palmer, the Ipswich Town goalkeeper behind him, is going to save it, which is immaterial because he stopped the ball going goalwards. So that was very unusual. And to be fair, Colton Morris kept his calm, took his penalty, got Derby back into it at 1-1, his fourth goal in 4 games. Then you thought Ipswich were going to come back at him, but it was Derby County again who got themselves on the front foot, and it was brilliant play from Rhian Brewster. Ipswich Town had the ball, he nicked it off of O'Shea, the Ipswich Town centre half, just got away from him. Matasiwe tried to track him, sped away from him, got into the box, got onto his left foot and just rolled it calmly past Palmer to put Derby County 2-1 up.
Yeah, it was a thrilling game, and as you say, wonderful advert for the Championship, as we get every single week on the home of the EFL Talksport 2. More to come as well. Thank you, both of you. I'll let you get yourselves home. It's going to take a while. Safe journey. I will speak to you both very, very soon. Sorry, I thought you were going to say something then, Perry. Cheers. See ya.